Ba, 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 ba. Ah, that's... There we go. And we are live! Hi, everybody! Sorry that we were a minute late. Well, technically we're 30 minutes late, but we gave you a warning on that. I literally did not get to sleep at all, and then I was running behind on a couple of things that I had to do, and technical issues, and it was a whole thing. But we're here. Ray, reminder, no spoilers. By spoilers, mean anything remembered to walk around any major reveal from any expansion. If you want it spoiled for you, then do not spoil it for others. Though we are coming up on Modern. We're not that far away. We're about to start Shadowbringers. Come join us on Crystal Curl. That's Crystal Data Center, Curl World. Jay, good to see, glad to have you. How's watching Top? I was watching a little bit of it this morning. I've seen up to phase 2. V, good to see, glad to have you. And now V has changed her name onto V and on YouTube. Kira Leia, good to see, glad to have you. My character's on the travel train. We'll be there soon. Woo! Stuart, good to see you, glad to have you. Raven, good to see you, glad to have you. Oh, you're no longer Raven. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for making it universal. It makes my life easier, and it's nice to be able to refer to you by the same name everywhere. But you'll always be at least a little bit of Emma in my heart, Raven. And also, it's going to make the Shadowbringers a little less confusing for everyone. Lolly Ho, Tracy, good to see you, glad to have you. Kat, good to see you, glad to have you. Lolly Ho, Bean. I am at the tea tree. Maybe walking up at 11 p.m. is a good thing. Hey, there you go. Lolly, good to see you, glad to have you. How you doing? Tam, good to see you, glad to have you. Remember to like the stream. Thank you, Tam. Tam doing our job for us. Soon we'll be obsolete. Yeah, you're all priceless and precious. Aw, I love mods. All my homies love mods. It's true. It's good shit. Seeking suspicion that we might be talking about different kinds of mods. Out here doing the Lord's work with the band hammers and spoiler snipers. Yeah. I may have been intentionally ambiguous. Demins, good to see you, glad to have you. Double Burms and hearts as well. Decoy, good to see you, glad to have you. Let's throw wide the gate. Speaking of, it's time to end the storm of blood and be a Shadowbringer. And by that, we got to do 5.0 and 5.5. But first, we've got Dark Knight to do. We also have a dungeon. So for those of you who did not get to do a dungeon yesterday, who would like to do a dungeon today, you're welcome to join. Although I know V may be dying to heal for this one, so we may have to bring her. Why not both.gif? Who's hyped to get to Shadowbringers? And, oh look, to be frank, also the 4.5 and 4.55 ain't no slouch. It's fucking hype. The Storm of Blood? The one that is born of blood? The one of our fallen brothers? I need all the white mage levels. Me, good, yeah. Top is insanely cool. One of the groups hit Enraged on phase 2 at 0.01%. Oh. Dude, the chaos that seems to be going on with Top right now is very interesting. My problem is that like, don't get me wrong, phase 1 and phase 2 are cool, but I need to see phase 3. Because, like, the mechanics so far have been cool puzzles, but, like, not in and of themselves, like, anything cool. Like, whoa! You know.
As you can see, Sid is yet to fully recover from his bout with Sir Opening. There's no telling how much more time he will require, but my quest will brook no delay. We must seek yet another soul in need of succor without their assistance, and so be it. Do you agree? Then we are of one mind. Now then, where shall we begin our search? War is perhaps the greatest source of man's misery. So much death and destruction. A battlefield, perhaps? Yes, the slaughter you bore witness to at Castrum Oriens is precisely that of which I speak. A tragedy which tore apart the lives of every man and woman it touched. My mind is made up. That is where we must go.
Ugh, if I had it my way, I'd not let you out of my sight. But again, it's your soul crystal at stake. I'm only here to help you reclaim your Aether. If you think you can look at him after him by yourself, then by all means. And as for me, I think I've finally regained enough strength to make the journey back to Ishgard. When you finish in Girabonia, come and find us at the Forgotten Night. Can hardly hear me? Pumping it up. Let me know if you can hear background audio at all, too, then. I don't want to have my microphone in. There we go. Let me know if that's better. As usual, I cannot hear myself, so you'll have to let me know if audio ever needs balancing. Fine now? Cool. Also, Tracy, I say good to see you, glad to have you, because good to see you, glad to have you. Dark Knight, best night. Well, I mean, to be fair, isn't Paladin called Knight in in Japanese? So I don't know if I can fully agree, but But at the same time, Dark Knight is a good boy. The Storm, specifically a blood? The blood for the Storm? Jade, have you been having a favorite mechanics to watch so far? The other thing is I can, like, now I just envision phase 1 in my sleep because I've seen it so many times.
Castrum Oriens, how it buzzes with life. So many brave soldiers resolve to do their duty no matter the cost. But I have no doubt there will be a cost, and it will be most high, for no man is beyond the reach of fate. Death will not be denied. This place, it weighs on me. Anywhere but here I would search.
I love the tethers, to be honest. Yeah. It's gonna be fun to learn. I feel like, so far, really the main thing is honestly just the speed of it all. I feel like the actual mechanics aren't gonna be that bad to learn. Do you think I'm wrong? Because you're more knowledgeable. You're a bit better at this than I am. I haven't watched any of the top stuff myself, but I'm curious. Definitely worth checking out. Right now, most progging groups, I don't know if any progging groups got past phase 2. Someone might have, but most people are starting to get phase 1 down pretty consistently. And by consistent, I still mean like there's quite a few failures, but you know, a lot better than 4 hours ago. Kathra, thank you for joining for member, and member for 5 months. Have you, man? I've known you that long already. Oh, that's lovely. Enjoy your emotes. The problem is gonna be making a systematic way to deal with the mechanics. Yeah, that's fair. You think that someone's gonna figure out a? I feel like there's gonna be a more consistent strategy for that in the future. And having to react to certain debuffs in such a short time. Yeah, I really do think it's the reaction time for a lot of that shit that's gonna be the major thing.
Come to share the fire. I would stand to greet you, stranger, but my legs, my eyes, the whole of me is not what it once was. Elio, I know that name. And that voice. By Ralgar, you're still alive. Praise him. Praise him. Who is this man? On the verge of death? Is he your friend? Nay, though I am flattered that you would think so. This man made medicine for me long ago, at the behest of Captain Mefred when we were still in Quarry Mill. If I'd kept it all for myself, I'd made a full recovery. But I couldn't. I had a dear friend, you see, and so I made a choice. He got better, and I didn't. Ended up working for the Griffin, he did, as a right-hand man even. But like all the rest who went to the wall, he never came back. The irony of it. The irony of it, that I'd be the one to outlive them all, if only for a little while. So I sit here and await the reckoning, as I rot from the inside out, the husk of the freedom fighter I aspired to be. No, this is not the ending you deserve. I will not allow it. The man he spoke of, the one whose life he chose to save at the cost of his own, that man is proof of his nobility. If he were here... Do you wish to see him again, your dear friend? Hodart? Aye, more than anything, but there's no point in praying for the impossible. He died with the rest, I'm sure of it. He was the Griffin's double, and one of his top commanders besides. You're a kind boy, Yar, and I'm grateful for the company in these twilight hours, but there's no need to trouble yourself further. My time is nearly spent. Then spend the remainder thinking of better days, Galen, and not dwelling on the deaths of me and mine. God strike me down, Hodart! No, it can't be. This is not more than a trick, an illusion, a lie. But even if it is a lie... Hear me, Hodart. I have a favor to ask of you. One final favor for a dying fool. Return to the Reach, to Bloodstorm. Offer a prayer to our brothers there. I will, Galen. You have my word. We should talk, outside.
Rowan, good to see, glad to have you. The Mog Talk stream, good, I guess it never run top. Oh yeah, because it's so fast. Yeah, it may be a bit, it's quick, man, it is quick. Mog Talk stream came up with one way to deal with phase 2 that seems to be somewhat consistent. Oh, nice. I guess I'm not super surprised with phase 2 because it's not. I mean, it's tough, but again, I feel like I don't know. Phase 2 to me like doesn't seem a ton harder than phase 1. I mean, it's tighter. It's a lot tighter on the DPS, that's for sure. I'm late. Too bad we can't hear the best line of the game, little son. Oh, sorry, guys. We have it from last time though. Phase 2 and Gate and Rage is pretty tight. Yeah, I've forgotten where this was. Also now 3 groups have hit and Rage, including Mr. Happy's. Nice. I've been watching Haps quite a bit. Top, there's so many jokes I want to make, but hey, all. Yep. Aaron, good to see, glad to have you. Deathberry, good to see, glad to have you. I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm having a good one. I'm quite tired, but I'm doing good. It's always better when I get to hang out with you guys.
To Mefrid and Galen, you are larger than life. I always wanted to meet you, and here we are. Though I reckon this doesn't really count, does it? If only I could go back and tell myself what a blind bloody fool I was to place my trust in the Griffin. Maybe then Galen wouldn't be dying alone. Listen, he hasn't got much time. I'll lead the way. The wilds between here and the Reach aren't too dangerous, but as you can see, I'm unarmed, so I'll not be any good to you in a fight. Nor will I fear. We will have to rely solely on you for protection.
Rydia, good to see, glad to have you.
I've no doubt you can keep us safe. You're the bleeding warrior alight after all. Let us be off.
So what you're saying is that top is making bottoms of the raid scene. God damn it, Tam. But you're not wrong. I feel tired. Yeah. Make sure to take care of yourself, Deathberry. Drink lots of water. I know that I'm going to be doing some P5 clears tonight, or a P5 clear tonight, but then afterwards I'm probably going to lay down. Though I do have a short I want to work on. Oh. I got so many videos I've been wanting to work on. I've been doing bits and pieces of. Very excited. I don't know. I've been sitting and writing while waiting to queue for the first Endwalker trial for over 40 minutes. It shouldn't be taking you 40 minutes. Hey guys, does anybody want to help Aaron for the first Endwalker trial? I bet, Aaron, I bet you quite a few people who are in here right now would love to help you. Aaron, are you able to like meet people at the tea tree? I bet people would like straight up like you could get it. I bet you might even get a full sack. Yeah, you got Jade, you got Kiraleia. I don't know if the mods will be able to, but I mean, if they're depending on if they're able to, they might. I'm sure if we act, I guess one of you guys. I probably shouldn't volunteer you guys. You guys got a job to do. I can do that over on Sarah if that's a problem. No, shouldn't be. I mean, if you should be able to port right over to Curl really easily. In dungeon right now, but in like 10. Yeah, well, I mean, that's perfect. Like, Aaron, if you take the time to like leave quick and leave the queue, head on over to Crystal Curl, and then in that 10 minutes, that'll get everybody able to do it and join you. Seraph queues be dead. Yeah. As the downs, it's gonna take time for Dynamis to build up. But just wait till 7.0 when it's like the empty server and everyone and their mother's like, oh fuck yeah, go to Dynamis so we can play.
Strong as ever, eh? Stronger even than you were that day, I reckon. They say that when the Griffin men realized you were coming to stop them, they grew panicked and unsure. How could they take up arms against a man hailed as the hero of Eorzean, a hero who had personally intervened in their lives for the better? Some stood their ground and died then and there for it. I imagine, while others looked the other way and tried to find some more Imperials to kill. I pray I wasn't foolish enough to try and fight you. I owed you better.
Zatch, good to see you, glad to have you.
Hodart, speak to me. I'm fine, just got dizzy all of a sudden. We have to hurry, do you hear me? We have to make it to the Reach.
Well, you guys can wait till 7.0, or you could always just come back to Crystal Curl. You could come back to the FC, come to our lovely abode. I'll buy you guys a large house. We have 50 million gil. I would, but headache is stopping me for a big good luck with that. No worries, Rowan. Thought counts. Appreciate that you would have. Yo-Yo's that. Sorry, not used to having people I can ask for help. No, it's all good. Just know that you always can. No need to be sorry. Just know that people here would love to help out. Look, there's always gonna be, at worst, almost everyone will be busy, and at least one person would love to help you out. I bet you, no matter what.
I promise Galen, I will not fail you, brother. It cannot be distance. We We haven't traveled far enough yet. A man's memories can't outlive him. I told you, he hasn't got much time, and neither do I. I'll hold out as long as I can, but in the end, it's not up to me.
I'd love to do your Endwalker trial one with you, but I'm at work for another few minutes. Well, I mean, you know, just check in with Aaron. Maybe Aaron's so down with waiting for a couple minutes for people. No ways, Aaron, that's what communities are for. That is what this community's for. Like, this communities and other communities and, like, you know, like, look, we're about lore. We're about talking about that shit. But I know, like, also, just as much, we're about having people a place to play that make 14 more fun and more, like, hey, I'm about to have, like, my pivotal moment of Trial 1 for Endwalker. I get to have it with friends, you know, instead of randoms. Not that there isn't a lot of fun to be had with randoms.
So close. Hodart, you must go on. You must make Galen whole. Remember Hodart.
Don't you think I know that?
He saved me life, and we all went and died for naught. For naught! All we ever wanted was to go home.
Oh, come, ye wayward brothers, bereft of hearth and home. Beneath yon burning stars there lie a haven for the bold. Raise up your hands and voices, let's fill your heart with pride. Above the churning waters, we stand strong and unified.
We can still go home. Even now, after everything we have done, we can still go home.
Okay, stupid question. Never stupid. Well, okay, you know, there are such things as silly questions, but how much of the wildlife is natural and how much of it is created in a certain spot in Endwalker? Depends on what map you mean. How much is natural to Thavnair? Almost all of it's endemic. How much of it is natural to Labyrinthos? Broad. None of it's natural, effectively. How much of it is to Garlemald? Most of it, except for Magitech and Machina, basically. The number 4, mostly Alag's fault. A lot of that's just Alag's fault. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Map 5, all of it is created. Map 6, it depends on your definitions. Oh fuck, I actually missed him. You can wait as long as you need. Sweet. Okay, then I have commute time, so sweet. I would but forget I was in queue for Alliance Raid Daily. Well, Rydia, again, if Aaron's willing to wait like a bit so that Tam can come, I'm sure he'll wait for you as well. Oh, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Aaron. If you want to like get it done right now, don't worry about it. Today's a big WoW patch day, so weekly maintenance is 9 to 5 CST. I got so bored I hopped into a time machine to go back 20 years to play WoW Classic. Hey, look. Part of it's rose-tinted glasses, but I really enjoyed my time with WoW Classic when I played it at launch.
He fell and would not rise. He began to shake and he was so close. He could have made it. He should have made it. How cruel the gods to tempt us with the promise of redemption. We did not fail. They failed us. They failed us. I. Forgive me. My failure is my own, and I had my chance, and I squandered it. Reclaim that which was yours. As the aether flows into your soul crystal once more from the depths of the fading abyss, you hear a whisper. It is not finished. Not yet. You will come and pray with me?
I'm sorry, I'm here. Daniel, good to glad to have you. So the question is, 1 a prime number? Yes, because nothing is divisible by, it's only divisible by itself. Well, okay, technically it's not. The thing is, it's not divisible by, well, I mean, it depends on if self counts as a replicating digit. I mean, it's self and 1. I mean, it is, but I'm like, do you just even bother counting the and there? But yeah, I mean, yes. Yes, it is, but I'm just thinking about, like, language weirdness rather than mathematical weirdness. I meant the world in general. How much of the wildlife and natural, how much was created at a certain spot? So, are you talking about map 5, Kathra? Because if so, most things, not most things, a lot of things are a byproduct of the sundering. That's what I'll say. So it kind of gets complicated. Blame Alec. I think the answer is what used to be created is now natural. Basically, for the most part. There is some implication that there are things that were not created that were natural byproducts of the star even before current times, as it were. I've got nothing else going on today for a few hours. Sweet. I wasn't one of the people who was clamoring for classic servers because I've been playing WoW since launch, remembered how tedious and clunky it was, but I gotta get my fix. I mean, my thing is that it's clunky, but like, for me, the world is so... I enjoyed the world so much, and the forcibly slower pace made me enjoy it. It's just something I enjoyed about it. Mathematicians specifically exclude 1 from primes. Yeah, like, okay, that's what... I thought there was something weird with it with that, but... Gotta do something in between sending off work applications, then won't get a call back. Aw, Demins. It's coming. You're gonna get your job. Everyone, give Demins your gobby booms to give him luck on his job applications. 14 just released a video celebrating the Materia DC by making a chocobo Lamington. Nice. Gacy, good to you, glad to have you. Because otherwise it's just silly. Yeah, I would join, but I'm eating a burger. I'll struggle to eat and fight at the same time. Well, Raven, you have a minute. The game will not consider a prime number for the raids. Interesting, Decoy. It does not consider a prime for the raids. It's a pretty good looking chocobo cake. All right, Dad's good to see, glad to have you. If we're doing dumb questions, was the Void Tent and the Red Mage questline coffin in any way related to the one from the Sky Pirate raids? No. The coffins are just the same mechanism by which they trap them. The Maki created those coffins in order to, like, trap Void Scent, and that was a Void Scent that was also trapped because of by the Maki. Shion, good to see, glad to have you. I hope you're feeling a little bit better. I mean, I know you're having a big struggle right now. Goodwill and good thoughts to you. A storm of blood approaches fast, hell's open, heavens weep, for no one's soul doth lie beyond the measure of his reach. Oh, I have to do slash pray, I bet. Oh, slash respect, not slash pray. Was it not fucking targeting it?
What good are prayers to the dead? They have not ears to listen, nor eyes to see our hearts, eyes to see or hearts to console. Not remains of them save fleeting recollections, soon lost to time to the abyss. We are left only with pain, a lingering sadness for names and faces consigned to oblivion. How are we to withstand this relentless onslaught which threatens to consume us? Is there no truth but this, that all men must die? Is this our world to suffer or to shape? The world is what we make of it. I by my sword make this true. Indeed, we are only bound by the god's law by choice. We cannot save everyone, can we? Sometimes it is all we can do to save ourselves. Does any of it matter? What if aught have we wrought by our own hands?
I see you're dealing with some prescient themes, Ishikawa. Might you potentially try to contend with these and answer them at a later date? I cannot help but wonder.
One last time, I gave you my word and I mean to keep it. But know this, every intervention has come at a cost, a sacrifice. When I have finished, naught will remain of me. But it does not have to be. For all our faults, for all our failures, we have made a difference. All the lives we have shattered, we can make them come together again. Time and death are true enemies, need hold no power over us. I can make a place for you in my world. You need only ask. We should go back to Ishgard. You must miss Sid and Brown.
So it'd be the Alligans or Asians who are responsible for Common Core math. I mean, technically, I would say well, I mean, if you want, depends on how you want to get. Allag didn't. Well, it depends on if Emmet had a. Well, okay, no, I'm not gonna mention that, but like, I'm gonna go with Asians because of certain knowledge we know. But really, the answer is kind of both. Also, we'll do my best. My friend should get the goddamn job jig patented by one friend group Discord. I'm okay, just settling. Eorzean, if there's anything we can do for you, let us know. Been thinking about you all day. Common Core gets a bad rap because people misunderstand the purpose of it, yeah. When I heard what it actually is, my immediate response was, oh, that's just how I think about math anyways. Yeah. You ever wonder if Ralger gets any ideas for his contests from his devoted? Oh, well, I would say that what we know from Mist of the Realm is that that's not, oh my god, now he fucking, god, this guy's been here all the time, but now he has a fucking ultimate weapon? From DSR? This motherfucker, man. I've never seen him leave, and yet, of course, somehow he managed to leave and get all this shit. Although, I appreciate you, my friend, I do. It does kind of ruin the mood when there's, like, glittering on Sudurgu, and we can't just, like, enjoy the, like, moment. Like, I get it, I get you like him.
Elio, I pray your trip to Garabano is productive. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I'm glad you reclaimed more of your Aether. I but wish circumstances hadn't been so depressing. For Mist's sake, we shall have to see how he is feeling when he returns. No, as far as I'm aware, he has yet to return to Ishgard. He certainly isn't here, as you can see. Oh, goddammit! Don't tell me he decided to run away! And just when I was beginning to trust the little bastard! Ugh. No, I could still be wrong. He's earned a little trust. A few days worth, no more.
Guess we'll have to wait a few days before we go meet up with him. Let's start 4.5! I hope you feel happy again soon, Xion. Yeah. The purpose of making things more complex than they need to be. Not gonna lie, Mist is bumming me out. I mean, Mist is contending with the same things that we contend with. It's one of the primary themes and then ultimately of the game. When in doubt, just go watch the Samwise the Brave speech from Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to feel better, just feel very numb. Yeah, that's very normal, Xion. That's, yeah. Just take what the time you need. Don't be hard on yourself if you can avoid it. Sweet Aaron, awesome. He's looking for group. Almost everything bad in this game has the three behind it: the Asians, the Ancients, or the Alligans. Yeah. Kirillea, yeah. It's like Dancing Pope and Ul'dah. So, okay, Dancing Pope and Ul'dah is bad, but at least he's hidden at the Aetheryte, right? Whereas, like, if you're gonna do Dark Knight, like the Dancing Pope of Ul'dah, I don't mind because he's technically out of the way. You can pass off equipment, so I think he's pulling an EverQuest and dual boxing. Yeah. He's still. Oh, that maybe you're right, Catherine. You can still laugh, still, Xion. Comedies always make me feel better. If not, I'm sorry. Hopefully it'll pass soon. Yeah, I mean, I would say if there's any stand-up comedians or something like, you know, that's always be helpful, but just be kind to yourself where you can. You think the Mist has a point? Oh, I think Mist has a point. I think, so first off, I think there's a big fucking difference, and I think these shouldn't be completed, that someone having a point means that they're right. Like, we're gonna get into this in Shadowbringers, but Emmett Selk has a point. And it's fair, and it is complicated and nuanced. That doesn't mean he's fully right. You know? I think Mist has a point. I think there is a truth to what he's contending with and what he's saying. But I think the choices how he chooses to respond to it are flawed, you know? I totally agree, it does break the mood a bit, yeah. Like, here's the thing. Do that sort of shit, totally. Like, if it's like, at an Aetheryte or an NPC that's not a quest NPC, but if it's like a job NPC, you know, you're kind of ruin it for others. But like, look, one, it's innocuous enough and well-meaning enough that I'm not like personally put off by it. So I'm not gonna be like, how dare they? Because I think it's well-meaning. And it's, you know, they like Sudurgu.
I'm glad you've come, though I'm afraid there's little in the way of good news.
God, you could really clip this fucking game so much. Just like, come. I'm glad you've come. Come. I'm gonna come. Wait, what? Well, you get what I'm saying.
After you left, we reached out to both the Alchemists Guild and Stillglade Fane and attempted all manner of treatments. But the results were the same. Whatever the answer is, it's not alchemy or conjuring. did it have to be Y'shtola and Eorzean, not me? Out of all of us, they are the ones who could feasibly have solved this puzzle. And Alphino's still missing. God, it's all going wrong. Where do we even start?
A grave situation indeed. Might I be of some assistance?
Someone remind me to switch back to samurai when I'm done. Kryl is the lady of the hour.
Kryl, I did not think you well enough to travel.
When word reached me of the plight of our friends, I could not well stay away. As a fellow scion, not to mention your erstwhile mentor, this is one of those times you should feel free to call on me, regardless of my personal circumstances.
Yes, I should have thought of that. Thank you for coming, Kryl. We would welcome your insight.
And I should be happy to provide it. Now, what's this I hear about Alphino heading into Imperial territory? That boy always did have some funny ideas. Do you remember the speech he gave when he was accepted to the studium?
She has so many fucking Alphino stories.
My life's goal is naught less than the salvation of this star.
They laughed. The boy fucking achieved his dreams.
Well, that particular grand pronouncement has been a source of great embarrassment to him, as you know. But the fact of the matter is, he meant every word and has lived his life accordingly.
Yes, he remains altruistic to a fault. But I'm worried he was too fixated on his goals to see the dangers, as has happened before.
You needn't be so concerned. Though his values remain the same, Alphino is not the blinkered boy he once was. Slowly but surely his eyes have been opened, thanks to a certain someone.
Who?
A certain someone whom he'd be mortified to learn had heard about his little speech. Mum's the word, eh? Right, I'd better have a look at our patients. They're in the infirmary, I assume. I'll need absolute quiet, so it would be best if I did this alone. If you'll excuse me. All three are in fine physical health. At a glance, I would say they were merely sound asleep. Except for the fact that I couldn't sense the slightest trace of them in their bodies. It's as if their souls have taken leave of their physical forms.
Ah, yes. The Elder Seedseer made a similar observation.
I've read the report. When you heard this mysterious voice, you described feeling as if you were somewhere else, yes? If we assume the ether which comprises your essence is being drawn to some other place, then it may be possible to follow the trail it leaves behind, just as we did in our search for Thancred.
I wasn't around for that, but I can't imagine it was easy.
Oh, it wasn't. But that's no reason not to try. I will have need of Master Matoya's crystal eye if I'm even to make the attempt. So I suggest we pay her a visit.
Dude, alternate timeline where Kryl got dragged to the first. That'd be interesting. God, I'm excited for her to be in 7.0. I did miss the joke. Yeah, DP Bong, Deadpool Horny Jail, switch back to Samurai. Thank you for the reminder. Strange Kryl is a scion, but she doesn't hear the calling. No, because the thing is that it's those who are closest. So like, it's not like, one, also remember that she's kind of removed. So, like, for instance, there are a bunch of other scions, like Cory Boulder, right? But it's those who are closest to us and our fates are most closely tied to. Like, you could argue that right now, Kryle and Lisa's fates are about co-equally tied to us, but not as strongly as the other scions are. In the future, at a later point in our timeline, Kryle's fate will be far more tied to ours, and in the past, Lisa's would have been far more tied to us. But at this point, remember, because what's going, well, I can't talk about what's going on, but believe me. Need some of those side stories they publish just about embarrassing stuff Alfino did. How did Kryle keep track of the 2 students back in the studium, considering they are leviers? I don't know. I mean, what would stop her from doing that? I like to become my favorite scion in these patches, being the last 2 standing, not knowing if or when you'll join the others. We need to rely on each other. Yeah. I mean, I think the thing about Eorzean though is that, like, think about it. She had a really strong showing in 3.x, right? In 3.4, 3.5, right? She had, you know, an almost stronger showing than Lise during Stormblood for whenever she was on screen. And then she's had a really strong showing anytime she's been around in 4.x. The thing is that, like, Eorzean is not, like, constantly used, but when they use her hard and they use her strong. And so it's like, it's very easy to get connected and attached. And then Beth Ann Walker's voice acting and all that jazz. Bells on a necklace. Since this is YouTube, we're contractually obligated to say like, share, and subscribe, or I'll throw gobble brooms. Thank you, Beam. An alternate timeline where Tatar gets sent to the first and strangles Umar to submission through economics. Beautiful does. Tales from the Studium. I mean, Tales from the Studium is basically already the side quest there, but yeah, I'd take it. Excuse me, I gotta remove my shoe.
I'd heard Master Matoya was something of a recluse, but this seems extreme. Still, I'll happily overlook her eccentricities if she agrees to help us.
Come to disturb my peace again, have you? I hide myself away in a cave, and still you people insist on pestering me with your problems. Oh, I mistook you for young what's-his-name, but I see now you're the sister. Weren't you supposed to be the lively one? I've seen happier faces at a rain-sodden burial.
Oh, Matoya.
Well, I'm sorry to dash your expectations, but the situation isn't exactly conducive to gaiety.
I think every situation's amenable to gaiety.
That's more like it. Stoller used to spit and hiss like a wildcat too. Better for a young thing like you to be filled with fire and leave the doom and gloom to your elders.
I love Matoya. Me too, Daniel. It's a great musical theme.
What exactly does this tragic situation of yours have to do with me?
If I may, Master Matoya, we have need of your crystal eye once more.
Yeah, Ray created a version of what Matoya when she was younger might look like. Yeah, I bet she was probably a very pretty girl.
And Stoller is one of the afflicted, is she? Very well. She may be an ungrateful stray, but she's my ungrateful stray, and I'll not see her buried before I am.
Indeed, Des. You definitely can. Yes, gaiety, you say.
Right. Let us see what we can see. I'll begin from where our friends first fell, and cast my senses out from there.
Yeah, she's like, oh god, I'm coming. Yeah, Tracy, yep. Which is also kind of a nod towards Shadowbringers.
What is it? Did you find them?
This doesn't make sense. How is it even possible?
How is what possible? Kryl, what did you see?
The threads, they just ended. And no, I didn't lose track of them. I followed them as far as they went. It's as if they were cut off.
Could the ether have dissipated if it had? Oh gods! Their bodies are just husks. It's like the broodmother's daughter all over again.
No, this is different. The Kalyana girl was already dead, body and soul, when Lakshmi effected her resurrection.
Aye, let's not jump to conclusions. If their physical forms yet breathe and show no signs of wasting, then it follows that their souls must still be intact somewhere.
But where?
That's the question, isn't it, girl? Death has not taken them to the ethereal sea, yet there are no tracks left for us to follow.
We're no closer to an answer than when we started. But knowing their souls are still out there is progress of a sort. We just have to keep
That's
looking.
the spirit.
Pray, excuse me a moment.
Are you returning
Yes?
to the Waking Sands?
I remember, but... What, to Alamigo? We're on our way. That was Lee's. Apparently, a group of Populares have defected to Alamigo, and Maxima, the envoy Alphino left with, is one of them.
I forgot
I'm
that
sorry.
Maxima actually
I
defected to
realize we've
Alamigo.
barely begun here, but...
Go, child, go! You've made up your mind, and life's too short for dithering.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, like, I knew he defected, but it's just like,
I'll do some digging
That's
in
how
the
he got
meantime
there.
and see if there isn't some other method we could use to continue the search.
Let's be off then.
woo! Must.
Oh, not again. The enchantment barely seems to take these days. I chalk it up to old age, but I rather doubt it's that simple.
The umbrality's worsening.
Before they took ill, Y'shtola and Eorzean were sharing notes on a thinning of the ether. It seems to be happening all over.
Does it now? And here I was all set to blame my woes on that creaking mountain of refuse clogging up the Thaliac. I fear something has gone awry.
Did she say that if you haven't
Still,
done Alexander?
There's naught to be gained from starting in shadows. You can
I
only
guess
do
it-
what can be done, and that but one thing at a time.
I guess even if you haven't done Alexander, it pops up, so. Yeah, just keeping the umbrality element in the background. Poor Magnite. I mean, Magnite brings it on himself, to be really. Was wondering why it was so quiet. Turns out I paused the stream while I was talking to my dad. Forgot to hit the play button again. That'll do it. Also, a bunch of people are currently helping Aaron with running the first trial. It's still there even if you didn't do it. Right, yeah, exactly, Carola. Yeah. That because it obviously gets, you know, you have the cutscene at the end of Heaven's Word where it pops out.
So that was the woman who tamed Y'shtola. Had I the distinct feeling of being grabbed by the scruff of the neck and having the nonsense shaken out of me. When Alphino is back, I'd like to visit again and ask her what tales she has of grandfather.
We did. I died like 3 times, but we did it. Woo! Awesome, guys.
I almost can't bear to hear what Maxima has to tell us. But it can't be bad news, can it? Lise would have said, unless... Ugh, there's no point speculating. Lise said she'd be notified the guards of our coming, so we should head straight to the palace gates in the Alamegan quarter. I'll be praying for good news. Learn what you can about Alphino's plight and leave the search for our friend's lost soul to me.
But blank was so loud I couldn't hear the stream.
The marvels of Syracuse.
Also, Dialon trials, I get it. Yeah. Hey, you still cleared. And you can always improve over time. The only thing I'll say is that if you liked Trial 1, the easiest EX in it, well, honestly, it might be one of the easier EXs even, just like if you assume every EX was synced, it might be one of the easier, EX1 for Endwalker might be one of the easier ones in the entire game, frankly, because it's not that it in itself is super easy. I mean, it is, but it's like, you also, if you have one person who knows what they're doing, everybody else can literally follow them and it's fine. I wanted to complete that quote, yeah. Yep, I'm lucky if I get through a trial alive. My motto is, if it ain't a wipe, it's a whip. Hey, if you clear the content, you clear the content. Greetings, Scions. The commander told me to expect you. Shall I show you in? Dorito. Yes, the power of the danger, Dorito. Yeah,
I'm sorry to
you're
drag
right,
you
Jade.
halfway across the realm, but when Maxima mentioned Alphino, I thought you'd want to hear the news in person.
Because they're still, they're no man.
Meet again. Though I was hoping our reunion would be under more auspicious circumstances.
I mean, to be fair, they are still resisting, right? Like, Garlemald still is trying to reoccupy them. Just because they've secured their homeland back doesn't mean they're not resisting, you know? And also, it's you know, it's the interstitial period between the initial occupation and, you know, actual victory. So, like, they don't codify it. It takes time to get codified. Like, they do
What
talk
happened
about
to my
making an
brother?
official military.
Where is Alphino?
Never fear, my lady. Your brother was in fine health when I took my leave of him, and I have no reason to assume that has changed.
You assume?
Oh, they say give him a
If
break.
you will allow me, I shall endeavor to explain events. Our troubles began not long after we departed Doma. While crossing the burn, we were fired upon by the Emperor's personal guard and forced to make an emergency landing. As we stumbled from the wreckage, our attackers fell upon us again, and we would have perished there and then were it not for the intercession of a third party, a band of mercenaries whose leader claimed to pursue a vendetta against the Ascians. This shadow hunter, as he styled himself, then escorted us out of the wastes to relative safety. Upon arriving back in civilization, I gathered my Populares colleagues and prepared to flee the Empire. Master Alphino, however, declined the invitation to join us, preferring to continue his investigation into the Ascian threat.
Well, at least he's not lying in a heap in the burn. Tell us more about these Ascian hunters. Who are they? And is Alphino still with them?
He is. As to who they are, I'm afraid I have nothing to tell you. Beyond the fact that they root out and destroy Ascians, They were unwilling to divulge anything which might serve to identify them. They would not even reveal their next destination. But Master Alphino asked to accompany them all the same. Since parting company with your brother, we've been engaged in a game of cat and mouse with the Emperor's Guard. We made our way through province after province, finding the army busy restoring order wherever we went, until we finally arrived here in Alamigo. I cannot thank Commander Aldin enough for giving us such an unexpectedly warm welcome.
I'm
I like
not
Maxima a
inclined
lot.
to turn away refugees, no matter which land they call home. And if they can tell me how things lie in Garlemald, all the better.
On that subject, there is much I would tell you. During the course of our journey, we heard tales that an entire rebel army had been slaughtered in the space of a single night. It would seem my former comrades grew tired of putting down uprisings in the conventional manner, and chose instead to bring a formidable new weapon to bear. Details were sparse, but the rumor alone was enough to dampen the flames of rebellion. I have also heard reports that several companies have withdrawn from their designated provinces and begun marching westward. It is my assessment that the Empire's forces are mobilizing for a large-scale military engagement.
Westward? You mean they're getting ready to invade Alamigo?
We knew this was coming, but not that it would be so soon.
We've barely even begun to shore up our defenses. They won't stop an invading army.
No, they won't. Dispatch messengers to the Alliance leadership requesting reinforcements, and send word to our officers in the field to hasten completion of those border fortifications. Prepare to meet the Imperials head on! No matter how quickly we act, we still want for time. When the enemy comes into view, our best recourse will be to open negotiations with their commander, and see that the ensuing proceedings take as long as possible.
Would you and Alize head to Doma and let Lord Hien know about this? I'm sure he'll want to hear about Alphino too.
Consider it done. We'll send word when...
Oh. I was about to ask. I forgot when it happened for her.
Untold sorrow must be changed. Ahead looms a calamity. Eon become instant. Throw wide the gates.
The gate.
You heard it too. Well, at least we're both still standing.
Oh, thank the gods. I thought we'd lost you for a moment there. Why does this keep happening?
I wish I knew. Nothing we've tried has brought us any closer to an answer. We'll keep working on it. But first, we need to go and see Lord Hien.
So, Alphino is safe, for the present at least. Now all we need to worry about is a full-scale Imperial invasion. I'm actually glad Lee's tasked us with visiting Lord Hien. Better to be dashing from place to place than sitting around stewing over things we can't change to the Enclave.
Stop doing that. Thank you. I heard if it's a wipe, it's a whip, which can be heard as work in progress, or whip, which honestly both work. True. I'm terrible with mechanics where the arena floor moves, so I almost die on trial 1 or Van Walker game roulette. Yeah, I don't think you get it in roulette. I don't think I've ever gotten that in roulette. Stuff like that just makes sense to my head pretty easily, so I looked out. Oh no, nobody was gotten by this one. Yeah. I'm ready for P5 Savage tonight. I got my gear up to 620. Perfect, Rydia. Nice. Friendly reminder, on Mondays and Thursdays, we have events run by V and Jellybean, respectively. So if you ever want to be doing maps, we have Map Mondays and Frontline Thursdays, PvP Thursdays, whatever, however we want to call it. Also, tomorrow we will be doing a near glam grind. So we're going to be doing some stuff over in the evening together where we'll be farming near glams from the 3 near alliance raids. If you'd like to come join us because you either want to get the glams, want to finish the stories, or just like looking at 2-butt and 9 shorts, well, come join us.
I see you have tidings for Lord Hydaelyn. May I show you in?
Also, guys, I may not like fruit pie, but I have pie. French silk, baby.
Greetings, my friend. I was just discussing the future endeavors with the members of our newly formed alliance. The core gene of the Confederacy you already know, and it was your own strength of arms that won us the cooperation of the steppe tribes. We have also been joined by our neighbors from Nangsha, the indomitable citizens of Dalmasca, though the scattered nature of the latter's resistance will somewhat delay their official induction.
So that's some Nangsha clothing. Oh, and interesting that they're blonde. That's fascinating.
These proud people are united under a single purpose, to stand against the tyranny of the Garlean Empire.
Temple, can I help you?
I'm glad to see that your alliance is coming together so swiftly. As things stand, I fear we shall soon have need of your strength.
God damn it, Tim. Pie, but what is French silk? Someone want to help explain French silk? Oh, sorry, Bean. I have chocolate pie in the fridge that I forgot existed until right this moment. Well, there you go. You're welcome to Mins. Lightheart, good to see you. Glad to have you. By the way, if you're ever planning on forwarding me that message, feel free to. What did Devin say? The future advertising and unskippable ads of the VR UI of your cyber eyes. Okay, are we needing to do a frickin' Bean VTuber stream or something? I want pie. Pie. Kindly request pie or at least whipped cream. Yeah, the boy smells the pie.
I thank you for bringing me news of Alphino. His fate is never far from my thoughts, not only because of he is our emissary, as for this sudden deployment of Imperial forces, I agree that Alamigo would be wise to shore up its borders with all haste. Every report we receive from our shinobi indicates a massing of troops in the western provinces. It seems all but certain that the Empire is poised to bring its fist down upon Eorzean. That was weird. And I would help deflect the blow, but I cannot risk sending reinforcements just yet. We'll remain vulnerable to airborne assault until our wall in the burns is in place. The all-important Allegan energy barrier. The energy barrier, yes. I thought to call it something more auspicious. A name drawn from the 4 Lords of Legends, perhaps. Seru's Aegis, or some such. Well, just a thought. The Ironwork engineers report that they have finished calibrating the generators and are ready to proceed with the testing stage. Have you time to attend the first test? You've seen the field which protected Aziz's law firsthand. I'd be interested to hear how you'd think ours compares. I will come too if you don't mind. Though I am no Y'shtola, I may be able to offer some insight. Of course. Time being of the essence, it would be best if we made directly for the burden. Yugiri, I leave you to Hakuro, and to bring the War Council to a close. Understood. Your mounts are saddled and ready, my lord. Where the storm is.
Deadpool, do you want to say hi to everyone? Does everyone want to say hi to Deadpool? Oh, dessert pie, yeah. When I think of pie, it's usually meat. That's interesting. I usually think of pie as fruity, as like fruit or dessert first. Keep talking about the incoming weather tonight and if we'll have work or not tomorrow. Anyone else getting snow tonight? I don't know. It's a good question. Am I getting snow tonight? I mean, we always get snow at this time. Yep, we are getting snow tonight. But we've already had feats and feats of it, so. Yeah, it's usually whipped cream, top, sometimes chocolate shavings if you feel extra. Some people do it without chocolate. Nice. Pie with an Oreo crust. Interesting. I've never had it with an Oreo crust. It's normally just a normal crust. Food talk has begun, Bean. Puppy, food talk. Yeah, I thought you said flood talk. Big fat fog. I'm getting snow here tonight. Okay, everybody wants. Oh, you were right there waiting. Shall we say hi to everyone? Ready? 1, 2, 3, yeah. No, you can't have the pie. I know you're looking at that pie. I can see you looking at the pie. No, you can't have the pie. I can feel you smelling for the pie. You cannot have the pie. I love you. Yeah. Now you can go down. I know you're sad. I can see you. I can see it in your eyes. You're looking at me like, where's the pie, fucker? Huh? Father, where's the pie? You son of a bitch, where's my pie? Team just cleared phase 2, sweet. Oh, I want to check so bad. Does it go straight, just tell me, does it go straight to like Ultima? Or is it like Dynamis Ultima, or does it like go to something else?
We will cross the burn by Yol and Falcon, as before. Join me at the Overlook near the House of the Fierce.
Need by doggo. Can you remember the first 100 digits? It would be Eorzean versus Alfino in terms of who can remember the most. Distraction doggo. Thankfully can only remember 3.14159. That's funny. That's exactly what I can remember. Whenever I like mention pi, those are the specific exact digits I remember. Phase 3 is what you'd expect if you know what phase 2 is. Yeah. Okay. I always say that pie shit is for nerds and then punches you. You're not wrong. But she actually knows 20 digits at the same time. Yeah, that's also very Alice.
Give word when you are ready to take wing.
But yeah, Seiryu's Aegis. So for those of you who remember the Four Lords, Seiryu is one of the Four Lords. He's the snaky boy.
It seems the engineers have matters well in hand. Should the barrier work as we intend, Doma will be free to reinforce her allies in Alamigo without fear of weakening her own borders. Honored friends, the time has come to put your hard work to the test. Start the generator.
Node 1 is operational. Nodes 2 to 8 are reporting similar energy levels. The barrier is forming.
See, guys, Thancred's fine. Also, can we just say that, like, whatever you want to say about Alligans, they do build shit to last.
$1,000 yards, 2,000, 3,000. Expansion remains smooth. No fluctuations detected.
I mean, to their credit, the first time I played this, I didn't notice.
5,000. Target altitude reached. The barrier is holding steady at 5,000 yards. We've done it.
I wasn't paying nearly as close attention or as familiar with the game. You know, like the first time around, I think like you're like paying more attention with like, you know, hey, they're fucking raising Seiryu's wall. They fucking defended the.
Is that an Imperial airship? Of all the rotten timing.
But this is a gift, Mistress Alize. They can test our new wool for us.
I love Hydaelyn.
Seems solid enough, though I was hoping for a fireball.
Ah, he is the best. Look, I love Americ too, but I think I like Hydaelyn more than Americ, I'll be honest.
By the gods, it's Alphino. What are you? Let me go! He has my brother!
Lower the barrier!
This is also why I like Hydaelyn. Hydaelyn's very good at being serious too. Temple.
Be at ease, girl. The lad is not dead, merely locked in slumber.
So real quick, if you don't know who this character's voice actor is, if you do, don't say it. But I want you to try to guess if you can.
No, not him too.
Yeah, same Raven.
We could identify no cause and found no remedy. Thus I sought to return him to Doma, and into the arms of Lord Hydaelyn himself, it would seem. It is a day for fated reunions. Would you not agree, adventurer? Or should I address you as the Warrior of Light?
I love that we figure it out. So like, this is like a good this is a good example of like the Warrior of Light like getting characterization, because not only do we figure it out before Alphino figures it out. You know. Gaius van Baelsar.
Aye. Gaius van Baelsar, the Black Wolf. That was the title I was given. One I have long since relinquished.
Doesn't mean you could relinquish your actions. The cost
Stand down. The legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion died in Castrum Meridianum.
Oh,
I am
V got it.
more than Gaius Baelsar, a man without rank or allegiance.
Yep, it is Roose Bolton from Game of Thrones.
Impossible. There's no way you could have survived.
Do you remember how it unfolded? How I was deceived by La Habrea? How I was convinced that reviving the Ultima weapon would allow me to bring peace to Eorzean? The Eorzean used me, as he used so many others, all to further the restoration of his wretched god. Yet even with the might of Alec at my command, you bested me. And as the Praetorium went up in flames, I was content to burn along with it. For a moment at least. A moment of folly. To surrender my life thus would have been to betray all who died for my cause. It was for them that I dragged myself free of the rubble, and swore vengeance on the Eorzeans. The Black Wolf has shed his pelt, never to return to Garlemald or her legions. I live now only to exact revenge. My principal quarry was to be La Habrea, whom I gather you have since ushered unto oblivion. But so many more remain. Long as their kind lurked in the shadows, laboring to sow chaos throughout our world, I would see each and every one dragged into the light and put to the sword. Are the Scions not of like mind?
In this single respect, perhaps.
Then I shall continue the partnership the boy began, and share what intelligence I have acquired.
I could speculate on what the top red mask is, but what's really interesting is the bottom red mask is the mask of Fandaniel. Which would explain why Fandaniel would also potentially need a new host.
Among the Ascians, the black-masked ilk are subordinate to those who wear red. This you already know. Yet among the red there exists a hierarchy. Those set adrift with the shards clearly stand below those still joined to the source.
Well, I'll explain that later.
Nabriales, who once dared to intrude upon the Rising Stones, belonged to the former group, and while he was indeed a dangerous foe, his powers were inconsequential next to the paragons of the Source. The first was Lahabrea, who plagues us no more. There is also the white-robed Elidibus, and the elusive Emmet Selk, about whom little is known.
We have files on Lahabrea and Elidibus, but I believe this Emmet Selk is new to us? As I assume my brother told you, we have evidence to suggest that an Ascian now walks in the body of the Crown Prince. Have you identified this interloper?
Elidibus seems the most likely culprit. As emissary, it is his role to maintain the equilibrium between darkness and light. Your many deeds in Hydaelyn's name have upset the balance, and I believe he seeks to restore it by throwing his considerable power behind the Empire. As a leader of the Ascians, he is one of our primary targets. It was on the trail of this very prey that the boy and I came across the scene of a failed uprising. In the absence of a single Garlean casualty, we inspected the bodies of the rebels, and the lack of any external injury drew my immediate attention. They had been slain by Black Rose, an alchemical invention of the Imperial Army. When I yet served as legatus, I ordered its production halted, and all stockpiles destroyed. Toxic gas is not a tool of conquest, but of extermination.
Toxic gas? This must be the new weapon Maxima warned us about. Something deadly enough to sweep away all resistance in a matter of hours. Gods. You don't think they're planning to use this in Alamigo, do you?
Put your fears to rest. We infiltrated the production facility and destroyed all existing stores of the chemical along with the plant itself. Even should they rebuild the operation, they will not soon manufacture another batch. Regardless, I would draw your attention to a directive we discovered in the plant's records. The document was marked with a recent date and authorized with the signature of one Zeno Ciegalvus.
A dead man signing the death warrant for thousands. 'Tis bad comedy.
But the tale does not end there. Within that same facility was a chamber filled with devices of elegant design. Cloning technology, we realized. And what should we find in each and every incubator? But a young Emperor Solus. All of which prompts the question, were the Ascians responsible for these abominations, or was it the will of the Emperor? I must know which hand guides the Empire. Though I have given up my rank, I am yet a son of Garlemald, and I will fight for the future of my homeland. It is time I return to the hunting of shadows. We should focus on our common foe. To reopen old quarrels now would serve no purpose.
You saved my brother's life, so I'm willing to let sleeping dogs lie. But in truth, it's not my decision to make.
I remember the first time I was playing that the stuff around Gaius here was the first time that my Warrior of Light, kind of really differed. You're right. There are more important matters at hand. We'll handle this another time.
There was a time when I scorned those who placed their faith in false gods. Even as I, in my blinkered conviction, place mine in Ascian promises. Unlike yours, my strength of will and my restraint was found wanting. We shall meet again, Warrior of Light.
Not so much here, but during the weapons quest line when you're just straight aggro towards him.
So that was the infamous Black Wolf. An unexpected ally, to say the least.
What surprised me is how he managed to kill Red Bat. Well, no, so what he did was
I am
killed.
content to leave the fine-tuning of the barrier to cleverer minds. Let us bid our friends from the Ironworks farewell, and see what can be done for Alphino back in Dorma.
Imagine if someone had killed Thancred while he was possessed by La Habrea. It wouldn't have killed La Habrea, but it would have killed Thancred. La Habrea could just return to the void between, right? So he killed the Fandaniel and whatever else, the hosts that they were currently within, but he didn't slay them with a sword of light, with enough aether to destroy their soul. He ended his bro. I can't believe Max didn't recognize him. I was trying to come up with a snarky way to hint. Domenico just said James Earl Jones. There was no way to know who they are. Guy's old mask sitting on the hip. Black Wolf has shed his pelt, but the White Wolf in chat is being a dumbass. Can Gaius be a husbando? Are you fine with his war crimes and his willing in the fact that he subjugated thousands upon hundreds of thousands of people and conquered in the name of power? Not necessarily that might makes right, but might determines right. So it depends on how you treat husbando culture, I suppose. I'm not sure I would look, is he an attractive man? Yes. But is his arc towards an attempt towards being better great? Yes. I would still be lukewarm on the husbando. AO, sword logic. Zatch, good to see you. What do you mean a sword logic? Don't think Alfie ever met a Gaius as a soldier. Huh. That's a fair point, Tracy. Yeah. But he must have seen him at some point, even in text or tales. But no, I mean, you're right. He didn't, face him or anything. That's a good point, Tam. Or, Tracy. You ushered La Habrea to oblivion. Okay, I'll steal the credit for that. He is not a fan of Daniel. All right, thanks, Lightheart. When I heard Black Rose from Guys, I was like, oh, wait, what? Hold up, this is from the Blue Mission, the Fringe? And I was like, oh, shit, this ain't good. Yeah. Which hand guides the Empire or the Ascians? Well, the answer is yes. Yes, 100% husband and material. Because I would say the answer is no. Don't fucking over-romanticize characters who are, by the same token, though, I would also say, I mean, Emmett's more complicated than that, but, I don't know. I find it very important to not, romanticize characters who have actions that are horrific and pretend, because I think it falls very too easily into the camp of ignoring those actions and overlooking them because you find them attractive or you like their personality now, and I don't think that you should do that. I think you can totally find them attractive. You can be like, fucking man, dude, Gaius is hot as shit. Totally, I get it. But remember, you are talking about someone who is responsible. Remember the, hey guys, remember the sylph that died at the Waking Sands? You remember everyone who died and the bodies you had to carry? That was Gaius. You know? Like, remember, you know, like, it just... You know, it's very important to, like, I think that's important. We also know the whereabouts of the other Eorzeans, or at least from what we know of, and I'm sure they'll appear with the other motives. Well, if you're talking about Dudelphond, Pastorat, Dudelphon, Havstrat, Halmarot, Amemeroloth. So there's those 4. Okay, what are the 4s we know? We know Emmet Selk, Elidibus, Labrialis, Lahabrea, Igiorm, Lawgriff, Mitron. What am I missing? Because I had the 4 that were... Oh, and Fandaniel. So that's 8 and 4. Yeah, so the 4 we're missing are Pastorat, Halmarot, Emeroloth, and Dudelphon. And we don't really know much about what they are and how they could... There's a lot of different ways they could still show up, though. So for guys to kill 2 is weird enough if he didn't kill them with Eorzean. No, but he didn't kill them. Like, he just killed their hosts, guys. Like, again, we know that for a fact. One of the masks he had was Fandaniel's mask. We know Fandaniel is not dead. Like, that wasn't like an accident. The black masks you can kill because they're just slightly ascended. But the red masks you need are specific. Like, there have been points in history when people have, like, killed... You remember when Varys shot and killed Emmet Selk, right? Just a little bit ago? Imagine that you did that to Dudelphon, to you know, Fandaniel, and he had to retreat. Because, again, he's a sunder, not an unsunder. You know? You kill their bodies, not their souls, yeah. Daddy Thornton. Don't... Now you're just pestering me. Now you're just, like, trying to get me going, Des. That sounds like Fandaniel in his original, you know. I just have a thing for super bad boys, leave me alone. Okay, but there's a difference between bad boys and war criminals, right? You know? Look, I'm on a soapbox right now for it, but I will say. Des, please. I still like Emmett. He did really bad stuff. He thought it was his duty to do, and so would do anything to keep his duty true. I'm not saying Emmett isn't sympathetic. I'm not saying Gaius isn't sympathetic. I'm just saying be careful about hero worshipping or like setting aside the actions of someone just because they are charismatic or, you know, interesting or hot or whatever, you know? There's a lot of further complications behind him itself, because we get into Shadowbringers that we'll talk about, that are further complicate the reality of his situation. But yeah, we'll talk about that a lot coming up. Oh yeah, I'm missing Willow Bean. I'm missing Willow too right now, so Willow could yell at me.
Alfino is safely ensconced in a private chamber. My finest healer is examining him as we speak. I've spoken with the physicians, and there are no outward signs of illness. Alfino is lost in sleep from which he cannot be awoken, just like the others. It seems that even the lands of the Empire were not far enough away to escape the cursed voice. I share in your frustration, Alice, I do, but Alfino is returned to us alive and otherwise unharmed. All that remains is to find the means to wake him. Until then, you can but fulfill your duties as a scion, yours and your brother's both. You're right, of course. There are arrangements to be made and little time to make them. To business then, my lord. Now that we know Seiryu's walls works as intended, can we expect reinforcements from Alamigo? We most certainly can. As promised, we will send troops to bolster our allies in Eorzea without delay. Pray, be aware, however, that they will not arrive without delay. Save for some few who boast teleportation magics, the bulk of our force must be transported by sea. A lengthy voyage for which the smaller vessels favored by the Confederacy are ill-equipped. Accordingly, I mean to enlist the assistance of the East Aldernar Trading Company in finding suitable ships. As for navigating the distance in question, we are in a happy position of being able to call upon those who plotted the course of my people's exodus to Eorzea. Beyond the procurement of ships, I think it unlikely that our East Aldernar friends will consent to any involvement in military operations, but I'm certain they will afford Alfino a berth aboard one of their vessels. I shall have a Kyurchin accompany him every ilm of the way to the Rising Stones. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. Yugiri, I will go on ahead and with our friends to Alamigo, enlist all those capable of teleportation and put them at the disposal of the Eorzean Alliance as soon as possible. They will form the vanguard. Yes, ma'am. This is exactly what we had hoped for. These and the Alliance leaders would be glad indeed to work with the combined strength of the East.
That was a joke, but if Emma's husbando, Gaius is tame. Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the Black Rose chemical plant.
Guys just mildly inconvenience them by killing their bodies. Yeah, basically. That's a good way to put it, Yukio.
Our supplies of Black Rose have been ruined, but the new plant is already under construction. We should have the first batch ready in time for the offensive, Your Radiance. See that you do.
Ah, yes, the infamous Black Rose. If I recall correctly, Gaius did not much care for the invention. A ruthless and indiscriminate weapon indeed, this airborne poison. It seems you are capable of making decisions worthy of your bloodline.
With no gift for sorcery, we Garleans must look to Magitech to even the odds. If it spares the needless deaths of our soldiers and serves the cause of this empire, there is no method I would not employ.
How very noble of you. Truly, though, I must commend you for embracing your role as Emperor. You play the part of the determined ruler well. Sometimes even I catch myself believing.
I think Varys is an underrated voice performance. I think it's really good.
A silent agent of death. Now that I think on it, Black Rose may well possess the perfect aspect.
Because it's umbral.
Slowly but surely, the deluge of light has worked upon the ether here in the source, and the gas should be most susceptible to its influence. Well, I shall leave you to your own devices. Go forth and bloody the land with your grand and glorious war.
While you do what, precisely?
Need you ask? I will be doing what all Ascians do.
I am well aware that your kind exists only to usher in the next calamity. But you seem oblivious to the harm your singular agenda causes to the Empire.
He's not blind.
You cannot have forgotten the events which followed your mortal demise. Our homeland was plunged into civil war for your failure to name a successor. The edifice you so carefully constructed was but a hair's breadth from collapse.
Are you truly so naive? You thought me oblivious to the consequences of a departure so painstakingly timed?
It was by design?
Of course it was fucking by design!
Well, of course it was. Though I will admit the resulting panic exceeded even my wildest expectations. But how can you be surprised? Throwing the world into disarray was the very purpose for which this nation was, as you say, so carefully constructed.
Varys just doesn't fully understand how little Emmett does not give a shit about Garlemald.
Now, if you have no further questions, I must be on my way.
As its founding father, he can't really comprehend the degree to which he doesn't give a shit.
We may not meet again in this lifetime. It would be remiss of me not to offer a word or two of gratitude. I really must thank you for this surplus of vessels. I can mold any host into my own image, but having bodies tailor-made for me in this fashion is so much less tiresome. You dabbled in Allagan cloning techniques, yes? It certainly is a compelling, not to mention entertaining, field of research. And of all the options available, you chose the founding father on whom to experiment. You have a twisted streak to you, Varus, like grandsire, like grandson, hey?
And notably, what happened with Xande. The recreation of a great leader.
If events play out as planned, this will become something of a family enterprise. You will be the capstone of this world, I the anchor and shard, and together we will give the lie to this star's fraudulent existence.
I assumed to do that with Xenos, but good lord, after I'm Walker, my sentiment changed. Not sure which I'm referring to Yukio there, because it's been a while. Yeah, I'm happy to change my YouTube nickname. Yeah, it's probably appropriate now, Raven. I only have one husband now, and he's no war criminal. Yeah. Do super chat. Make Elio say weird shit in a slow voice because it makes double happy. You're my goodness, bro. Happy, don't you? Emmett was socially awkward, and it is hard to romanticize him. I mean, he's not really socially awkward. He's actually incredibly socially inept. He's socially inept. He's incredibly theatric and charismatic as well. So he knows exactly what he's doing and how to toy with people, which is part of why people also love him, because he's so incredibly charismatic and theatric and fun, which we haven't had a lot of fun villains. I mean, Gaius is not like fun. Xenos is not really fun. Yotsuyu is not really fun. Like Thordan was not fun. He's the first villain that we get that's like kind of like fun, but then also is made incredibly nuanced and complicated. It's all hard to romanticize. As time progresses, we reach a bit of understanding into the people's play. I guess all of the Ascians are. I mean, that's the thing. I think that's the thing, is that people didn't ever conceive that there might be a reason that the Ascians are complicated, and therefore when he proved that, people like I think people who aren't used to shifting their sympathy or I'm not people aren't used to it. I think it's easy when you're in a mindset of having no sympathy, that once something has earned your sympathy, you then are much more likely to be fond of it and to be protective or romanticize it or any number of things, you know? Ascian stuff. Why does Varys think Emmett cares? Emmett already spilled last time. Yeah. I mean, and Varys is known for a long time, too. Like, remember, when Emmett was telling him all that stuff last time, he was saying it as if Varys had already heard it before. I think the reason people like him is because he has a certain energy, yeah. Guys, we don't know it's Emmett yet, just so you know. Yeah, Tim, it's right, but since Elio's already calling it, I hadn't said anything. Yeah, I don't mind doing that because it's very clear. Because here's the other thing. That's one where you're not going to hide that, you know? The line. Why does Varys still go along with the Ascians? He's not. What he's doing is, Varys is, as far as he's concerned, making the best choice of actions that seem right to him, and the problem is that it falls right into Emmett Selk's lap. And he can't stop that the best course of action in his mind is still also what Emmett Selk seems to want. For what it's worth, it wasn't clear to me on my first playthrough. Oh, okay. Well, to me it was, so sorry. I honestly, more than that, it was just, I thought like everyone has seen it in pop culture, like not pop culture, which I think you could say about other things as well. So, I mean, that's fair. I could have been more careful. We'll try to be careful about that in the future. And it really has when I mean, like even literally Raven had Emmett Selk's picture for months and the name Emmett Selk next to it, so. I mean, it really has the when theater kids get too much power energy, yeah. Gonna go watch new season of Vox Machina with some friends. Might check in again later. Sounds good, Des.
We must leave now to convene with the Eorzean leaders, and it may be some time before I return to Doma. Hakuro, I leave you in command.
My lord.
I shall assemble an advance party with all haste, and join you in Alamigo. I've just received a word from Lys. The Alliance has established a camp base near Alamigo's northeastern border. Once we arrive in the locks, we will report to resistant officers stationed in Porta Praetoria, who will point us in the right direction. Let's not keep them waiting.
Suburban Elf, good to see you, glad to have you. I just had Shadowbringers yesterday. Hey, congratulations, man. It'll be nice, then depending on how fast you go, maybe we'll be going in line with each other. For a time, Edmund's face was half of fan art, so I don't think anyone could not know it's Flay anyways. I mean, you could also say, though, about that one character that I'm trying very desperately to hide as well. So, I mean, to be fair, you know, I could have been more careful with that. Nice to see you again. Yeah. All I'm saying is I didn't decoy, but tend to avoid a lot of social media. Yeah. I think you could, because I think you could make that absolute same argument about certain other character. The other streamers I watched didn't know, and they just got to Shadowbringers end of last year. Yeah, so I think it seems like it's a lot of people didn't. So sorry for those of you who had not reached that point. Look, I'm willing to admit I admire Emmett for being a fun character since Good Lord the Ascians so far were Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing is, like, all that can be true. I think Emmett's a fun character. I'm sympathetic in ways towards Emmett. I think Emmett's nuanced, I think incredibly written, incredibly entertaining, well performed. But all of that can be true, and then still not and accept that and embrace that, and then not excuse his actions, you know? Like, the problem is that it's like, feels like people have to, in order to, like, accept that someone's awful, they can't accept that they can also be all those other things as well, you know? You know, at this point, you could argue the same for other characters, and that still doesn't mean we should spoil things. Yeah. I just thought that one was, like, I had, for a long time, because of other, like, lore notes that also existed prior, had always assumed that was just very clear, but literally, even in the cutscene where they showed the Unsunder, they clearly hide them, right? They hit him. So, like, I think the game is trying to treat it as a reveal as well. So that was my bad.
Ah, you must be the Scion party I was told to look out for. If you follow me, I'll take you directly to Alliance headquarters.
I mean, you should pity Laha Bray and Elidibus, too. You should really pity all Ascians. But we'll get to that.
Welcome
you pity
back,
Edmund, you should be pitying the others.
Greetings, Lord Here. Glad you could join us.
Glad to be here. I would have come sooner, where our own defense is not in question, but I am pleased to report that our soldiers are assembling for deployment to Alamigo as we speak.
We're grateful for your support. Thanks to the efforts of our allies, it won't be long before we've established defensive positions on this front as well.
We have some good news too. Alphino has come back to us. As for the bad news,
so Alphino won't wake up. Gaius van Baelsar is alive and hunting Ascians, and the Empire is planning to poison us all with toxic gas. Does that sound about
pretty
right?
bad.
Ordinarily, any one of those things would have left me in shock. But the way things have been lately, it's all starting to seem pretty normal. Getting back to your report, are we sure this Black Rose is the weapon Maxima was talking about?
It fits the description. And it seems we have Alphino to thank for sparing us an early demonstration of its effectiveness. I have a feeling this won't be the last time his bravery in the Empire will serve us here in Eorzea. The threat of an unknown weapon has had...
Oh, Suburb, I'll answer that in 1 second.
But now that we know what we're dealing with, we can take steps to defend against it. As for Gaius, I'm not sure what to think. Am I happy he's alive? Not in the slightest. Am I happy he's hunting Ascians? Aye, I'd have to say I am.
Oh, speaking of Garleans you didn't expect to see, we have a tale of our own, as it happens. When we sent envoys to the Imperial Army to request talks, they returned with the message that Varys Zos Galvus would be attending.
The Emperor himself. Well, Varys did sanction the Popularis peace mission. But knowing that an Ascian walks in his son's skin, I do not see how we can trust him or anyone from that nest of vipers.
The Alliance would proceed with negotiations regardless, if only to give ourselves more time to prepare. We do, however, require your cooperation.
I love how much time they spend on logistics and planning in this game.
Right. Yes. So, as a condition for the talks to go forward, the Empire has requested that a member of the Scions be present. There'll be a representative from each Alliance nation, of course, but I'm afraid we have to ask that you come along too.
Have a good one, Kirillea.
God, Lise, you know how much I hate politics. But then, what choice do I have? Alphen and the others aren't going to do it. Very well. I shall attend as the Scion's representative.
In case you're wondering why I didn't ask you, the Empire also requested the presence of Eorzea's champion.
Yeah, I followed Decoy. You're good. Just real quick. So Suburban Elf. So yeah, so we're trying to like stick with anything here. However, if you have like a macro question about like, hey, what's Astral and Umbral, or like, you know, or like that's lore stuff that existed technically prior. The other thing is, if you can go join our Discord, where you can always ask me lore questions. To anyone who has like, even if you have a bunch of lore questions, just go on our lore Discord. If it's a spoiler from Endwalker on, go to Endwalker spoilers. Otherwise, just go to lore discussion. Just at me. It's very helpful if you at me, because otherwise sometimes I won't check it for like a day or two and I won't get to your question right away. But if you just do at Elio, it'll let me know that you have a question, and I'm happy to answer them or talk about them in depth. It actually brightens my day. So if you have any Shadowbringers questions, happy to talk about it. I know Super would love to help Av if it happens to make your enjoyment of Shadowbringers increase at all. I'll be there.
That's settled then. We don't know what Varus means to bring to the table, or why he wants you there, but having you close at hand will make all the difference.
Good to see you, glad to have you. You missed our Emmett talk just a little bit ago.
The meeting will take place on the border. Anticipating an early assault, we mean to position the bulk of our forces nearby.
The Alliance leaders should already be on their way. Once you're ready, we can head out and join them.
You know, it's funny because I called Emmett, I did not call the other character. Partly, though, I think that's because of how I went through a Realm Reborn and how a lot of Realm Reborn had stuck in my mind as much. It had been like 2 years at that point since I played it.
Well, I don't suppose it's polite to keep an emperor waiting too long, shall we?
Maybe not 2 years, maybe only a year. Grr. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy, and discovering Final Fantasy is a new addiction for Linda. I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy, so if you want to talk about the Hydaelyn delay and stuff too, I will gladly go ham with you on that. Shall we get into the first, second, or third age? Shall we get into the time of the lanterns or the time of the trees, baby? Woo! Olmo for days. Okay, cutscene.
Esteemed representatives of the Eorzean Alliance, on behalf of the Garlean Empire, I thank you for inviting me here today. As this parley was convened at your request, I invite you to speak first.
Very well, Your Radiance. I, Nanimo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, should be pleased to oblige you. As recent events in Alamigo and Doma have made plain, the subjugation and exploitation of neighboring nations is not a sustainable policy. Should this day end in war, you may very well defeat us, but you will never extinguish the people's desire for freedom. Though it may not be in our lifetime,
There will be another revolution, another war, and the cycle will continue. Doma has entered into a concord with the nations of Eorzea, a partnership wherein we recognize one another as equals. Garlemald could be afforded similar treatment. You need only set aside your ambitions and join us in paving a path towards peace.
Varys is a byproduct of his society and had to be stubborn to accomplish anything. Doesn't justify him, but
you will
it's
not
unsurprising.
win me over with sophistry, Your Grace. As you know only too well, this alliance lacks the strength to keep the peace within its own borders. Even now, your struggles with the Beastmen continue unabated.
Also, can we talk about how it's Nanamo v Varys?
Divided, you sow this fertile soil with the seeds of your differences and reap naught but discord and chaos for your trouble. Eorzea must be united under one leader, one purpose. I would offer you both and bring an end to your strife.
Remember, this is the exact same thing Gaius argued throughout all of A Realm Reborn.
With all due respect, Your Radiance, the only thing that you offered the people of Alamigo was fear and hopelessness.
The citizens of Doma can also attest to the meager arms of Imperial rule. There is no purpose to be found in a life of oppression, each day more uncertain than the last.
Our people are willing to die for their freedom. A great many already have, and countless more will, if we don't put an end to this madness here and now.
We brought order and stability to your lives. This madness and bloodshed is of your own making. You broke the peace, not Garlemald.
That's literally just false and stupid.
Peace. Order. You kill our peoples, despoil our lands, take everything that is ours. And what? You expect us to lick the boot that grinds our faces into the dirt?
Well, and they've only known chaos in the intervening 25 years.
I expect you to weigh the costs. To recognize that countless lives have been lost on both sides in pursuit of a greater good, and to not squander all we have achieved in a fit of petulance.
So just let us rule you. Yeah, because we're the petulant ones here.
Your Radiance. I fear I can personally attest to the dangers of pursuing one's vision with such righteous fervor. For 1,000 years, the Holy See of Ishgard waged war with dragons. A 1,000 years of sacrifice, of sorrow and hate, in which we bathed in the blood of friend and foe alike. Had it gone on any longer, we may well have drowned.
I love that all our stories thus far are being a part of
Yet we have
this
chosen to raise ourselves out of this bloody spiral, and have since made peace with our former enemy.
So I understand. No doubt the dragons were more receptive to your overtures in the wake of their leader's demise. You speak of peace, yet use war to achieve it. Your father would not have bothered to obscure his intent with honeyed words.
Okay, but
He
literally
understood
not.
that strength is all that matters in the end.
Here's the thing about fuck it, Varys, but also, like, I will say to his credit, he isn't
Without his clarity
full of
of
shit
vision,
in
I
terms
can
of his,
but wonder
he
what will
believes it.
become of Ishgard and her people.
Yeah, exactly, Tam.
There was a time when Garlemald too lacked a leader of conviction. Weak and unable to wield magic, we were at the mercy of the strong from whom we sought refuge in the bitter cold of the north. Were it not for the discovery of ceruleum and the subsequent development of magitech, we might never have gained the power to take back that which was rightfully ours.
You speak as if your people were the first to have been driven from their homes. Limsa Laminsa was built by wayward souls in search of a place to call their own. On the shores of Vilbrand we found it, and from those humble beginnings did we grow and flourish. And all without robbing our neighbors of their liberty.
Though sometimes of their lives.
So saith the pirate. Am I to believe that you simply asked the kobolds to yield up their lands and that they were happy to oblige you? That you did not drive them out like rats in the hold of one of the many ships seized by your privateers? I will concede that after centuries of exile, reclamation may be mistaken for invasion. Nevertheless, it is not. And those who till stolen soil have no right to object when cast out in turn.
They never owned. What are they talking about? At worst, he's talking about Locus and Menos. Maybe he could argue that for. He cannot argue that about Eorzean Othard.
Nature rivals that of the Ixal. They too lament circumstances which they themselves perpetuate. Were they but to embrace peace, we would welcome them with open arms. Indeed, some few have done just that, and now receive of the 12's Wood's bounty. Would that your people might learn from their example.
You dare compare us to the Birdmen? You
You're right, they are
to
better than you.
invoke the 12 and threaten all of creation.
You motherfucker are created and led by an Ascian. Fuck, you might even be a byproduct of Alag.
I came here in the hope of finding some speck of common ground, but I see now these discussions will accomplish nothing. Despite what you people may believe, I am not wont to choose the sword over the olive branch. 'Tis but a pity men are loath to accept one without first being shown the other.
I want to be very fucking clear about this right now. He's not accept the sword over the olive branch. The only thing he will accept or embrace as an olive branch in this situation is total capitulation and willingness to be subservient. That is not an olive branch. His choice is the sword or the chains. Varys has some interesting points, and honestly, his refutation against Merlwyb is probably the strongest thing he has going for him. But, like, ultimately, every argument he makes is absolute horseshit in terms of, he pretends, the thing that is actually the hypocrite is somewhat, not even just hypocrite, but like bullshit about him is he talks about, you know, obfuscation of truth. But the thing is that he's pretending as if capitulation is what peace is, and that's horseshit. Although, if you think about Garlemald coded as a combination of aspects of the Imperial Britain, the Third Reich, you know, a bunch of different of imperialism across, you know, Imperial Japan, certain aspects of American history, a lot of different things. The it's perfect. Like, this scene is perfect.
Wait!
None of his points justify.
This meeting was supposed to find a way forward together, not to bemoan the missteps which brought us here. Please, if you truly consider violence a last resort, there must be a way we can come to an agreement.
As Mistress Alisaie says, we did not come here to bicker over the past, but to discuss how we might strive towards a brighter future. Emperor Varys, may I suggest a short recess, that all present might compose themselves prior to beginning anew?
He doesn't want peace, he wants domination, because the only conceptualization of peace he has is domination. Because the mighty must lead the
Very
weak.
well. I pray this intermission will suffice to move these talks in a more constructive direction.
If you aren't his definition of strong or the strongest, you are, by definition, the weak. And you understand where Gaius gets it from. Yeah. I think he's pointing out, yeah. Violence is the last resort. The first and only other resort is doing what I say. Yeah. For a moment I feared our talks would descend into violence there and then. Alice speaks of her dislike for politics, but her honest plea may very well have prevented an early battle. Whatever rebuttal I had in mind was lost when Varys mentioned my father. The man is certainly skilled at keeping his opponent off balance. I do much wonder at the Emperor Varys' decision to attend these negotiations. It is plain he has no intention of hearkening to our entreaties. But what then is his goal? 'Tis true that Limsa Lominsa beginnings were not wholly honorable, but our old wrongs do not make the Emperor's deeds right. Why do I get the feeling the Emperor is hiding something? Varys holds fast to his ideals, just as I know he would. He will not be swayed from its path. For years have we warred with the Empire, with no end in sight. A parley such as this represents a unique opportunity, and I would not squander it with bitter words. Phew, this is really not my forte. After his Radiance and Lil's performance, it was all I could do to not swear at him. I honestly don't know how I ended up playing the mediator. I just asked myself what Alfino would have done, tried my best to do the same, and by some miracle it worked. But there really is no common ground to be found with that man, nor do I think he really looked for any. So the question becomes, what did he come here to do? Because you may be certain it wasn't to make peace. Whatever it is, I can't make it out. Not yet, at least. Why do we have a little time? We do have a little time before the parley is due to reconvene, though. So why not try consulting our illustrious leaders? Maybe they have some insight to share. Oh, whoops. This parley was never like to bring peace, but I had hoped to learn something of Emperor Varys' relationship with the Assassins. As had we all, yet if he is in league with them, he is not like to volunteer the fact, and if he is not, how much weaker would his position seem for their presence? If we are to broach the particular subject, we will need to be subtle. Would that I knew more of the man, if you would indulge me. Lord Hien, you received an imperial education, did you not? Is it true that the Emperor's will is considered absolute? There is no higher authority in all of Garlemald, nor else in the heavens. Come to that, veneration of the gods is forbidden, the only worship permitted being that of his Radiance's own person. That is going to be relevant later, stick a pin in it. That sounds suspiciously like religion itself. I share your disdain for the hypocrisy. Even as they denigrate the idea of faith, they revere their leader with a fervor others reserve for the divine. 'Tis a flaw common to much of the doctrine they fed us. Logical on the surface, perhaps, but contradictory upon closer examination. I wonder if a discussion of the various discrepancies might prompt Varys to reveal something? I will say one thing for Varys. He is well versed in Eorzean history. His interest in our affairs is that of a beast in its prey. The conqueror would know his enemies. All should know their enemies, yet there is much and more we do not know of the Empire. Then it's up to us to change that, here and now. Ha! You would have me ask the Emperor himself. Well, mayhap there is some wisdom in that. If we can skirt the storm of his displeasure, we may yet come to our answer, even if it does mean sailing close to the wind. 'Twill have mercy, but for Lady Alice's timely interjection, we might have come to blows at the negotiating table. Not the Emperor Varys left us a great many options. His unconditional surrender, all he will accept, do you think? Ere he arrives, I have said yes, but having heard him speak, I cannot help but think he came with some other end in mind. Exactly! He's building up to something, I know it. How then should we approach the rest of the parley? Have you anything to say, Warrior of Light? Invite Varys to explain himself. The direct approach may yield results. You believe he is more apt to reveal the truth if we put him at ease? Mayhap you are right. Thank you, Elio. To get going, head home. Have a good one, Deathberry. Hope everyone had a great day and stay warm, everyone. Thanks for the stream, Elio. Always, bud. I know what would end the whole thing. Warrior of Light challenged him to a duel and winner takes all. I mean, that's not quite off from where we end up. I get the feeling Rabana's a little off balance about an arm's length. Okay, Suburban. Beautiful.
You've spoken with everyone, then. Good. Now, all that remains is to await the pleasure of the Emperor, and hope we fare better at the second attempt.
How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing perfectly good on time. Don't forget, we've got Gimlet Dark
Now
coming
then, who would have the floor?
Before we resume, I wish to offer you an apology. After you graciously accepted our invitation to discuss an armistice, we have done naught but rebuke you at every opportunity. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply sorry for our discourtesy.
Politics, diplomacy, also, don't forget that as far as the Garleans are concerned, we're beast tribes too. Which further explains the idea that the beast tribes are... They've been constantly explaining the beast tribes are bullshit in various different ways. This is yet one more.
I'll admit your familiarity with our affair surprised me, and served to remind me how little I know of yours.
I think all here can understand the desire to reclaim one's homeland. But why expand further? That is my question.
If I may, the answer can be found in the Imperial doctrine they took great pains to impart to my people. Recognizing the threat icons posed to the world, Solus Zos Galvus decreed that they were to be eradicated. To this end, he began a campaign to unite all lands under the Garlean banner. Or so we were taught. Yet the Emperor only reached the burn, the Baron said to have been laid waste by icons, after conquering all the lands that lay between. What is more, I am quite certain the practice of summoning was not nearly so widespread in the days before the Empire's founding.
When you put it like that, it all starts to sound like an excuse, doesn't it? But to distract from what? Why are you really waging this war?
Ooh, that's a cool shot.
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer and at last accept the righteousness of our cause. My goal is this: to return the world to the way it once was, the way it was always meant to be. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more.
Yeah, fucking puppet, man.
No longer will we suffer from the dissension born of our differences. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
What in Rolga's name are you talking about?
I am talking about the origins of the star, of the source and its 13 reflections. At the instant of the great sundering, 'twas not only the world that was shattered, but mankind itself. Thus were we divided into myriad races, each with its own unique imperfections. That is why man looks upon his neighbor and feels fear and hatred, why he wages war, why he kills his brother. You all in your own way have proven as much today. The peace you seek is but a fleeting solution to a fundamental problem. One which calls for more drastic measures. To bring about everlasting peace, our worlds must be rejoined. That is the goal the Empire would see realized. The glorious future unto which we shall one day shepherd mankind.
A rejoining of worlds.
I have heard this tale of the source and its reflections before.
Are these not the self-same desires as the Ascians?
Emperor Varys, do not trust in their words. They will lead you to your doom. My father thought to use them, but in the end he succumbed to their temptations. He embraced summoning like so many other pawns before him. Do not tell us you mean to do the same.
To be a pawn, free from the burden of choice, would be a blessing. But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Garlean Empire was built by the hand of an Ascian.
What?
I love that they treat it as a reveal for these characters, because it is.
Yes. My grandsire, the former emperor, is of their number. And who better to build an empire capable of bringing about the calamitous change we desire? Would you condemn me for this alliance? For bowing to the will of these shadowy masters, when the prize is true and lasting peace?
That's tough. I will stop you and the Ascians, no matter the cost.
I come not to conquer, but to liberate. To free man from the prison of divergence. Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard. An army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs. We would be the masters of our own fate.
So if that was true, why'd it get sundered in the first place, motherfucker?
Join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
Doesn't matter how much power you have, you still deal with the same issues.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
Reminder of
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one left.
Do you truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
It is unthinkable, unconscionable.
Eorzea standing together.
And what is the alternative? To be as cattle waiting for slaughter? I would have us work together, that we might take fate into our own hands.
The alternative's to live.
Into your hands, perhaps. But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity, you obliterate a star and every soul that dwells on it.
God, this is such an important scene.
To the Ascians, we are all but tiny, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. We cannot hope to oppose them until we have been made whole once more.
I know the reason he's making these choices is because he doesn't understand the full totality of what he's
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation, even yours, Emperor Varys, is made whole through the combination of these imperfections, the strengths of one compensating for the weaknesses of another.
Fucking go Nanamo.
While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others, fostering community and cooperation. That the protector of an empire should not only reject these fundamental truths, but seek to change them at so dear a cost to life is indefensible.
Fucking love Nanaimo.
Such a man is not fit to govern.
Oh!
And you, warrior of light, would you refuse me as well?
Can I just say what she said? We can defeat the Ascians as we are. I cannot condone the loss of life.
It would seem the Alliance is of one mind on this matter.
God, this scene hits so much harder having played Shadowbringers and Endwalker
never
now.
cease to disappoint me.
With what comes ahead, it
Though I
hits even
suppose
harder.
I have only myself to blame for expecting more from savages. This discussion
Yep.
is at an end.
Yeah, V.
I bid you make ready for our next meeting. It
Well,
will
and
not
honestly,
be at the
Endwalker too.
negotiating table.
Very much like the first half, especially of Endwalker. But yeah, it's very much a thematic setup for Shadowbringers, but also ties directly into a lot of other aspects of Endwalker, crazily so. If anything, I think this is the first step. This moment is the scene that starts the duo story that is from Shadowbringers through Endwalker from here on out. Like, this is the pivotal first step. Which is why it's probably as long as it is. Refuse you. If you want to be joined to battle, let me show you the live stream. Damn. Actually, yeah. Also, every time a Garlean calls a savage, it literally really grates on me. Yeah. And every time you feel that way, remember that about calling all, like, kobolds and Ixal and stuff, beast tribes or, you know, beast men and stuff. Because it's the same thing. It is. Like, it literally is. Not just like in lore, in game, in narrative. I'm not just saying like, oh, outside of this, is it, you know, like it's wrong to call them. I mean, like literally, the story is telling you this, the lore is telling you this, the history is telling you this, and like the whole journey of going from Beast Tribe to understanding the like fallacy of it is like a arc over the course of really throughout all of them. That's why it ends in Endwalker calling them switching it to being tribal groups. Varys roasted by the potato. Laura, I just know the ridiculous spike in the center of his chest plate compensating much. Well, I mean, you saw his pauldrons, right? We can all agree Varys plays World of Warcraft. Why does he look like America circa 2003? I come not to conquer, but to liberate, with cluster bombs and civilian casualties and war crimes. Grandpappy's nasty, but don't worry, guys. Liberation, am I right? I'll ask him one question. If it was so perfect, then why did it fall? Exactly, Cathra. Fucking exactly. I mean, there's various other things you can say, but really, you can boil it down to that. Varys just sounds like my older brother after 5 beers at Christmas dinner. So he's all for the joining. Yep. But not like he doesn't like the Ascians. He's not in line with them, but he just wants power and wants to be the perfect race. Not fully under like. God damn. I actually still think Varys is compelling. I think Varys is incredibly well done for what he is. Like I think he's a compelling villain, not because I'm like compelled by his argument, but I just think he's like a really good representation of what he's supposed to be. And we get to further play on that as an extension of things with like Gaius and then Garlemald as a whole in Endwalker. He's a good love to hate villain. Yeah, he's a good love to hate villain. He's also a good representation of the Garlean ethos villain, right? And personifying it and making it human in a way that I think Gaius gets over the top sometimes that he fails to be in A Realm Reborn. I came back to find Doma Advanced Party ready and waiting for battle. So as worrying as our little chat with the Emperor was, it did buy enough time for at least some of our allies to arrive.
I'm not sure what...
Oh.
Aye. A future built on a mountain of bodies. I too want the Ascians dead, but not at any cost.
The last of the reinforcements from Dorma arrived not long ago. I pray it will be enough. Given the Emperor's stated goal, this is a battle we can ill afford to lose.
If the Garleans come in force, we may not have much say in the matter, even with our combined strength.
We knew from the first that the odds would be against us. But if there is even the slightest chance of victory, we must do everything in our power to seize it.
We must seize it, full stop.
Here!
The two of you are to join an irregular unit and support the main host. I won't bother asking if you're minded to fight.
After coming this far, how could I not? And for once, there's no one around to countermand me. Not that they would. Not even my brother. But we all know who really make the difference. Ready to frighten some Garleans?
I wouldn't want to be on their side.
Might I ask you to accompany the Dorman contingent? They are strangers here, and your presence would do much to raise their spirits.
We would be honored.
When our people stride out with you in their midst, I dare say the Eorzeans will feel an ilm taller themselves. High spirits have a way of spreading.
What I wouldn't give to join you. But my duties as field commander will not allow it. I'll leave the front lines in your capable hands. Comrades, ready your arms. The hour of battle has come.
Let's do it, Raban!
May the crystal guide us to victory!
Yeah, Demons. Which is, honestly, that's good on their part, right? Hey! Enzar. And also the, Mikote from the fucking, the Maelstrom Mikote. What's her name?
Since the others couldn't be here, we'll have to fight twice as hard. If Alphino wakes to find the Imperials have won, I shall never hear the end of it.
Mikev, yes, thanks, Sam.
I thought I would be terrified when the fighting started. I should be terrified. But with you at our side, I can't help feeling everything is going to be all right. So please, don't you dare leave me alone.
I'm not shipping it, but we all agree, Ali say absolutely major crush on the Warrior of Light, right? Like textually. I'm not saying we're inferring it. I'm saying like textually.
No matter what happens, we have to survive together.
Oh, it's Takeb? Yeah, I recognize the name seemed right, yeah. I knew the second part was. Ooh, pancakes. Nice, Yukio. I had pancakes earlier today. Yeah. Okay. Game Loop Dark, now accessible. Okay, I'm coming back to the tea tree to grab people for it. I just want to make sure. Because it's not until, 6.4 or 6.5 is when we'll add that, I believe. Because Stormblood, they haven't added Stormblood, right? They finished in 6.3 Heavensward. So it's 6.4 is going to be first half of Stormblood, 6.5 is going to be second half, right? If we read her diary, she draws little hearts around every mention of our name. Okay, who wants to join me for Gimlet Dark? I'd love it to be people who don't usually get a chance. Who's that? That is... Oh, it's Rydia. Rydia, am I not friends with you on Elio? That's weird. Some friend request. Who did not get a chance to go yesterday? Rowan, did you get to go yesterday? Invite to party. Jarek. Leho. I don't think you got to go yesterday. And then Jade, I don't think you did. Bean, you had an ER last week tell you to meditate? Lordy. Okay, cool. Perfect. Ready, check. I see you got your relic, Rid. Sweet. Okay, guys. Final dungeon of Stormblood. We're about to be in Shadowbringers. Then after that, one expansion left. Guys, look. I like ARR a lot. It has its flaws, it has its foibles. I really enjoy Heaven's Word a lot. It's not my favorite, but there's a lot of great moments, powerful things. Stormblood, really good, continued step forward. You know, it's kind of same vibe, but you know, a lot of great moments and wonderful things. But then, it's now, we're gonna go into Shadowbringers after this. And it's just a race to good story day till the end, baby. Let's hit it! Like, the establishment doesn't only parallel discussion around beast tribes, but also how useful groups find dehumanizing others during conflict. Well, but that's my point, Decoy, is that beast tribes is used the same way. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that. It was a whole thing. I'll message you later. They might get a laugh out of it. It's wild. Can we get some gobby booms or some excitement for the final charge? My repairs? No, I got. As long as we don't die, we're good. We'll get repairs later.
Leave this to me.
Get them, boys and girls, guys and gals, and non-binary pals. Oh, I love it. They combine the music. Oh, that's great. Spread out, be wary of artillery fire. Keep to the north. We will head off the troops to the south. Whatever happens, we have to survive together. Yeah, Red, don't your tank and just go full force. We got you. Pull wall to wall, and we got your back. Boss one. Oh, is this the first time they introduced that? No, this has to have been in other things too, right? Reminders of Volja and the hellscape that it is. Oh, hey, it's ceruleum. Literally, ceruleum's leaking out of the ship. That's what the blue stuff on the ground is. Make sure not to set it on fire! Try to remember the imagery from this dungeon, by the way. It's going to come up in a bit here. Front lines, baby!
I shan't hold back!
Pip-pim! Brace yourselves! They've called for reinforcements! Oh, dude, this must have been so cool when it was first live. It's so epic. Keep moving. We'll hold them here. Nope, I got you, boys. My bad. Well, that feels safe. Which will break? The unbreakable drill or the unmovable warrior? God, when you're used to playing EX and Savage, I always feel like you get used to thinking in lower difficulty stuff that there's a secret mechanic about to happen. One more to go.
You underestimate me.
Perfect. Yeah, keep holding on. You seem troubled, friends. Not getting tired, are you? Hold on. Ah, the power of the white mage. Fear not, help is on the way.
As one!
Eorzea, Othard, all of their free peoples fighting together. What could you ask for? Quickly, to me! It's going to blow! This one's for you, Papa Limo.
Time to get serious.
Long limit break 3! Go on, Elio. Leave these soldiers to us. One final battle. Enya, fall back! Very well. Leave the artillery to me. But in the end, you are the only one that savages. Now let us be brief. His radiance awaits. Guys, did you start the fight? Please don't do that. Can you guys die real quick? Can we reset that? Oh, fine, it's fine. Yeah, you can't, if you drop down it, they pull for this. So here's the thing that I feel like a lot of people don't do, and I just want to say this. A lot of people do this thing where they go in front of the purple line. Please don't go in front of the purple line. Like, I know, like, for some raids and stuff, if you go in front of the purple line, it doesn't pull them immediately. As a courtesy towards people for alliance raids, because some dungeons and some things will pull, and you never know with cutscenes, just wait. As long as you wait on the other side of the purple line, people will never be pulled. So just, please, as courtesy, always do that. If there's a cutscene. Let's play Ring Around the Rosies. I think Toba Castle had something, but I couldn't be completely wrong. You play as Black Mage, what do you mean? Don't set it fire. It's an overdactive, but it's alright. Funny thing is, I can think of at least 3 dungeons to replace redactive. I'm always fair. Gas Cutting said to not send the AoE UK bedtime. Night Tracy! Yeah, because they use red and blue.
Very well, leave the artillery fire to you. Commence bombardment. Prepare to strike. They will not escape. Impressive. Ania, let us engage them together. They cannot hope to evade us both.
Fucking deflecting each other's attacks. Did they just high five? I think I've literally done this dungeon twice.
Very well.
I never get in roulette.
Ready the cerulean tanks. Deploying now. Seems we have no choice, Julia. You should feel honored, savages. Few are they who have witnessed this twice. And fewer still who have witnessed this. Farewell, savages.
I love that they fucking enrage. And it's done. Thank you, Aaron.
We served our purpose. Come, we shall withdraw for now.
Seriously though, like, just so it's clear, guys, like, I may just like wait for duty to use trusts in the future if people are gonna pull ahead of some story stuff, because I need to be able to like read out what's going on, like, because I also may have not done these in a long time or have done them for the first time, and I would like to be able to watch them. So like, please. Okay, story time.
There you are, and none the worse for wear.
Indeed. I had hoped we might do more to help, but there seems to be no one left to fight.
A tactical withdrawal, perhaps?
We should give chase. Finish them off while we have the chance. Imagine the other surprise when they wake to find the war already won.
Right, but just stay behind the purple line, like as a safety measure, like just that, like
the
that.
Light will expunge all life. Only you can forestall the calamity. Throw wide the gates.
No, 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 not like.
And she's gone. Dude, this mysterious voice is really bad at whatever they're trying to do.
Don't tell me. Are you all right? Quickly, we must get her back to the encampment.
The Garleans have been routed, have they? This exchange was no more than a test of our strength. Like as not, they won't be taking any chances now that the Emperor has joined the fray. They'll want to take their time, whittle down our defenses. Still, with your help and that of our eastern allies, we've pressed the first test. Our line is unbroken. As for Alice, well, she's in good hands over at the infirmary.
My lord, the Eorzeans have completed their examinations of Mistress Alice, and it is as we feared. She is locked in a slumber without any outward cause.
Just like the others, damn it all. Aye, the Garleans picked a fine time to come knocking. 5 scions incapacitated, and with the enemy at our doorstep, I cannot spare the men to assist in the search for the cure. The best I can do is see to it that Alice is escorted safely back to the Rising Stones. Yugiri and I would return to our encampment. The main contingent of our forces from the far east is under sail, and all must be made ready for their arrival. I'll not keep you then. So are we gonna watch the Shadowbringers trailer tonight, guys? Judging by the Garleans' recent movements, or lack thereof, they won't be launching another offensive in the immediate future. Should you return to the Rising Stones, given the plight of your fellow scions, I can understand if you feel on edge. It'll be no good to anyone without rest. Rachel, good to see you, glad to have you. Sweet, okay. Hey, Hoary Boulder.
Ah, Alio, welcome home. Word has it that you and Mistress Alice gave the Guardians quite a thrashing. Speaking of whom, where is Mistress Alice? I was certain she would have returned by now. By the 12, no, not her too. Oka and I will ready the infirmary for her arrival. We also need to send a message to Tataru post-haste. Would that I had something other than grim tidings to share with her. And with you too, for that matter. It grieves me to report that the Archon's condition remains unchanged. As we speak, Koltune and Kryl and Master Matoya continue to explore every possible avenue. Alas, their efforts have yet to bear fruit. But all is not lost. You are still hale and whole, after all. Though I suspect you must be tired from your journey. You should rest, my friend. Leave the worrying to us for the time being, at least.
Meanwhile, at the border of Alamigo. So this is the end of 5.5, so we still have to do 5.55. And then they waited for how many months for that to come out? 4 or 5?
Ah, Elio, yours is a welcome face indeed, in these troubled times. Though if you've come to inquire about our stricken brothers and sisters, I'm afraid I have naught to report. Coultonay and others have continued their tireless search for answers, and I too have done all in my power to assist them. Alas.
My apologies for the intrusion. I was told Master Alfino had been brought here and wished to see if his condition had improved.
Maxima looking good in that fucking resistant gear.
Master Elio, I have heard about your part you played in driving back the Empire's forces. Thank you, that you were able to stop them, if only for a short while, gives me hope. Realize how strange such words must sound coming from Garlean lips, but I speak them out of a love I bear for my homeland, because I wish to see an end to the bloodshed. That is why I chose to share all that I know with the Alliance. Though I will surely be branded a traitor, I am content to bear the ignominy. 'Twill seem a small price to pay if it helps to prevent the conflict from escalating any further. But enough of my prattling. The war is not what brought me all this way. I came to see Master Alfino.
An acquaintance of Elio and Alfino, are you? Well, far be it from me to turn away good company. If you will follow me, sir.
When word reached me that Alfino had returned, it seemed only right that I visit the poor lad. It pains me to see him thus, but I take solace in the knowledge that he was safe and well cared for. He fought valiantly at the burn. The Populares could not have wished for a more committed ally. I know not how he came to be so afflicted, but I pray a cure will be found soon. On an unrelated note, you may be interested to know that I have traveled here in the company of another acquaintance of yours. He awaits my return at North Silvertier, and I'm certain he would be glad to see you, assuming you can spare the time, that is.
Company in North Silvertier? Who could it possibly be? Could it be a certain white-haired bloke?
Are you there? There you are. I was beginning to think you would not come.
Oh, I love this. Oh, it's the Sid theme. Ah.
It sounds like you've been through a mill. You should have called me. Though I must confess, tracking down missing souls isn't exactly within my field of expertise. As you may have surmised, I heard much of Master Garland's growing up in Garlemald. Indeed, he has long been a source of inspiration to me. Most Garleans would say he's a traitor, that he turned his back on his country. We of the Populares, however, consider him a revolutionary, a man willing to defy the Empire's dream of subjugation, that his inventions might bring about a better future for all mankind. Please, revolutionary is a term best reserved for my work. I am but an Imperial defector who thought to aid another Imperial defector. Whatever Master Garland says, I am humbled to find myself in such distinguished company. Speaking of distinguished company, we heard from Raubon that you ran into an old friend in the burn. Is it true? Gaius still lives? Like most in the army, I never had the privilege of seeing the legatus without his mask. To think I walked halfway across the burn in the presence of the Black Wolf. Ah, they explained that. And he claimed to have severed the ties with the Empire to hunt Asians, did he? After his humbling at the Praetorium, one would think he'd have the good sense to stay dead. Should we meet again, I shall be sure to tell him so. Commander Aldine also spoke of the Alliance's meeting with the Emperor, though I still labor to believe what he told us. Did his Radiance really claim that Garlemald was founded by Asians? But that is madness! The very notion is absurd. Every fiber of my being rails against it, and yet I see there is no escaping the truth. From the very founding of my homeland, my brothers, sisters, and have laid down their lives in service to a lie. The Asians must be stopped, to save my people, to save all peoples. For all the Empire's many crimes, even I did not suspect. Had I known, I would have left a lot sooner. But that is the past. Here, in the present, we must apply ourselves to the problem of how the Empire's ambitions may be thwarted, not only in Eorzea, but in the Far East as well. The Ironworks will spare no effort to achieve that end. Say Ryu's wall was a good start, but we can do more, and we will. We'll show them what it means to achieve freedom through technology. Begging your pardons, I bear a message for the Warrior of Light. Commander Aldine requests your presence at the Alliance headquarters in Alamigo. He would discuss matters of strategy at your earliest convenience. For Alamigo! Ah, yes, the inevitable messenger. I knew it wouldn't be long before duty called you away. Time, no doubt, being of the essence. Could I tempt you to a ride aboard the Excelsior? If there's a faster way to rob on side, I will personally apologize to the commander for keeping him waiting. It's called teleportation. Rachel, why didn't you just say it's Sid? A little playful, and we were gonna meet him in 5 seconds anyways. I swear, every time you board my airship, you seem to be barreling headlong into danger, and every time you somehow contrive to emerge victorious, which of course is an admirable skill. But no one is invincible, Elio, not even you, so please take care of yourself out there. I pray you remain safe on the front lines. Though ill-equipped to join the fray, I shall do all I can to assist from headquarters. My colleagues and I have been tasked with evacuating casualties by air. See that you aren't among them, eh? Okay, the final quest of Stormblood. A Requiem for Heroes. Commander Aldine is waiting, sir. It would be best if we proceed to Alliance headquarters at once. Are you ready? Oop. That was an accident.
You're here, good. I summoned you to discuss strategy, but first I would appraise you of Garlean movements.
I think there are going to be a couple cutscenes playing in a row. Oh. One of you guys is a part of duty.
You're here, good. I summoned you to discuss strategy, but first I would praise you of Garlean movements.
There have been several skirmishes along the border, but as yet neither side has delivered a decisive blow. We had long assumed that the Garleans would overwhelm us in a straight fight, but we seem to be gaining ground, albeit slowly. As to why that might be, the most likely explanation is that they have yet to commit all their forces. Still, we're winning, and our latest intelligence suggests the Emperor has retreated back to Garlemald. In light of this, we're considering launching an offensive with the aim of pushing the front line forward and giving ourselves some room to breathe.
Commander! The Imperials! They've broken through our defenses to the east!
What?
Our scouts say their forces are being led by Lord Xenos. Lord Hydaelyn and Commander Hext have taken their troops to provide support, but we don't know how long they can hold out.
So, they've been biding their time, waiting for his arrival, have they? Very well. Send word to our allies, requesting reinforcements for the front line. Should the worst come to the worst, I may need to enter the fray myself. But what of you? Do you still have the strength to fight?
You need only say the word.
Much obliged. Given the choice, I'd take you over 100 soldiers.
Why won't they open? Please, I bid you open.
What's
How
wrong?
many attempts
Is it
did
the
it
voice
take?
again? Are you sure you're in a fit state to do this? May Ralgan grant us strength.
Cathra, we will explain it coming soon.
Give 'em hell, lad.
It is
I,
explained.
for my part, will defend this place to my dying breath.
Remember, right now, Elidibus is in Xenos' body. And a mysterious soldier with a particular set of skills is wandering around. A random resistance soldier who seems awfully familiar in his combat style. On the battlefield of the Gimlet Dark. So this is Elidibus in Xenos' body. So this is there are still those willing to stand against the crown. Interesting. Let's put an end to this here and now. Do you truly believe that possible? Then let us test the limits of this Guardian vessel. Formidable foe, but we have come too far to fall now. Soon I shall give the lie to man's indomitable spirit. Strength, my friends. It would not do to have Elio arrive to find us battered and broken. Fight and struggle if that is your want, but you will not escape your fate. Fuck. Don't do this. Don't play me like that, fucking you beauty. Our fate is not for you to decide. Enough. You will learn your place. Behold, a taste of my true power. Ugh, what is this sorcery? Look upon Ami no Harakiri and know the depths of your folly. No, you don't!
Here it comes!
Lise, no! What have you done?
If you would bring all to bear,
The
so
weave
must
of a
we.
shinobi's power. The art of my forebears.
Skills. Well, I'm done dispelling his phantoms. Now we must hurry to protect Lys. Still, you choose to struggle against the inevitable. We may be on the back foot, but it's not over yet. We can at least hold on until Elio arrives. I'm sure we can turn this around. Come, says he. Then I need not waste my time on you.
Dude, when they do anime fights, they go hard.
You get it!
Damn you!
Oh! Nailed it.
Magic. With a Garlean body. That's hardly fair.
Ian, you're the best.
Still, he must be stopped. No matter the cost.
Look, they based Ninja in this game off of Naruto. Like, they said that.
Bringer of light. It has been too long.
Brian, good to see you, glad to have you.
No words to mark our reunion? So be it. Equilibrium must be restored, and only your death will redress the balance.
Come get some. We will suffer your interference no longer.
Yeah.
Gonna do something to stop me? Just gonna let me wail on you.
Yeah.
That's more like it. Please, sir, may I have another? You think you know of the dark, but I'll show you the true nature of our power. Well, you fucking missed.
potential of this vessel is transcendent, without limit. You are a strong bringer of light, but a blessing will not avail you. To redress the balance, to ensure salvation of the star, you must fall. Impossible! How has you grown so powerful in the gift?
Oh, notice that he's referring to the egg, not specifically to the Blessing of Light and the Echo.
No matter, you have bested Lahapre, but I will not be cast aside.
B nor V, make a note, key term the gift. Oh, I see we're doing near now. Oh, fuck. Who knows?
Yeah. Weak. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I see.
End up seeing one of hers. Oh, I see what you're saying with Lise. Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought about that. Oh, that's just cheating.
Your mother chose her champion well. Yet, for all your strength, you will still fail.
Oh, not now.
I beseech you.
Someone calls to you. Too late, alas.
I wish we saw like a spear enter frame right here. Like right here. For like one frame, just like, or like a couple of frames, you just see a spear enter frame. Okay, guys, here's one of the more important moments, and also one of the most what the fuck moments when it came out. Oh look, it's the source and the reflections.
At last, I found you. Please, there's no cause for alarm. Though, I confess, this is not where I had intended to meet.
Trevor, good to have you.
The meeting is of no consequence, like the war you wage. Win or lose, the path you walk leads only to oblivion. The better path leads you here, to me. I have need of your strength.
Do we trust him or not, I wonder? Who are you?
I'm afraid such questions will have to wait. We have precious little time, and your work is not yet done. Go to the Crystal Tower. I have left something for you near its base. It will serve as a beacon of sorts, one which I pray will help you on your journey. All you need do is find it. I will take care of the rest. Soon, we will throw wide the gates.
That's ominous.
And the path to the first will be yours to walk at last.
I don't know, seems kind of shady. What a fucking way to end an expansion, like a patch cycle. I mean, I guess they've all kind of been bangers, really. 2.55, 3.55, 4.55, 5.55. 6.55 is going to be wild, man. Are we in Ishgard? They flew us all the way to the opposite end of the continent. I mean, I guess with Who Saves Us, it makes sense, but...
You're awake. Thank heavens.
Where is Xenos?
I see you recall that much, at least. In the midst of your duel, it is said you faltered, and that the Crown Prince seized the opportunity to deliver a mortal blow. Yet before his blade could find its mark, he was distracted by the arrival of a second adversary who bore you away from the battlefield and into the hands of our Eorzeans. Lest you wonder, he left before you awoke. As is his wont. Estinian never was one for emotional farewells. Though Xenos bested all before him, the battle clearly took its toll, for he retreated shortly after your rescue. Seeing this, the remaining Imperial forces decided discretion was the better part of valor and pulled back, allowing us to re-establish our position. We have since received word of renewed unrest in the provinces, doubtless inspired by the efforts of the Eorzean alliance and our Far Eastern allies. Nor does the good news end there. We have also come into possession of intelligence suggesting unrest within the Imperial court. This would certainly explain why both the Emperor and Lord Xenos appear to have abandoned the fight.
Minerva.
A long-awaited ray of hope in these dark times.
And what are the scions? Is Alice all right?
Yet to awake, I'm afraid. But please, concentrate on your own recovery for now. You have carried the hopes of some half-dozen nations, and we are all eternally grateful for your efforts. But no one is without their limits, not even you. Leave this fight to us, my friend. You have earned your rest. But before I forget...
You tease.
I was asked to deliver a message as soon as you awoke. A reminder that you are not alone, though many of your allies have fallen. When you are well and rested, you are to return home, where friends will be waiting for you.
We're never in this alone.
Now, if you will excuse me, I must return to the front. May we meet again soon, under happier circumstances.
Oh, Edmond. I know that staff anywheres. When I had heard that you had collapsed on the field of battle, I confessed I feared the worst. But with you standing here before me, I see now that reports of your defeat were greatly exaggerated, thank the Fury. As long as we have you, Master Forgeron, history suggests we have a fighting chance. Speaking of fighting, you may be surprised to hear that the war's effects can already be felt even here in Ishgard, and in anticipation of a need for reinforcements, Artorial will soon be departing for the front lines with a contingent of our finest knights. Now, I would advise you to stay until your strength had returned, but I know it would be an exercise in futility. Indeed, I suspect you have already decided on your next destination. Dark days lie ahead, of that I have no doubt, but the light of hope shall ever guide our steps, so as long as we have the will to press onward. And press onward we must. Farewell, my friend. I pray our next meeting will be under happier circumstances. This is actually kind of an important reminder, because remember, he wrote the book Heaven's Word, which is an exploit of our tales. Or a tale of our exploits. And that is important. Put a pin in that.
By the 12! I don't believe it!
Even Eonor's happy to see us. It's funny, now that I know all these other scions like a lot better since last time I played, that means a lot more of them being here.
Don't make Tataru cry.
I rushed back as soon as I could. I swear, my heart nearly stopped when I heard you'd collapse like the others. What in heaven's name is going on? Win or lose, the path you walk leads only to oblivion. Oh, well, that's helpful. And what else did he say? The better path leads to him? If his is the voice you've all been hearing, perhaps the others are with him. Sir Emmerich
Had that
said
really
the
not
Phantom
occurred to
had
you?
reached a stalemate,
Elio?
didn't he? But if that monster masquerading as Xenos comes back... Thancred, Yestola, Eorzean, Alphano, Alize. You're going to need all of them on your side to defeat him. And I forbid you from going to face him on your own. Do you hear me? So if you must leave, go and find the others. Bring them home.
We all win demons. Me swing no sword, no thank. Yeah, Bean.
As for where to start, you said the stranger had left a beacon for you at the Crystal Tower, right? But how are you to find it, now that the tower has been sealed shut? There has to be a way. If anyone would know, it's Sid, and the researchers of St. Coinac's find. Don't you worry, we'll find that beacon for you.
I hope more of the B-list Scions get more and more roles in the future, like Aenor, the Boulder Brothers, Cold and Danae. I mean, oh my god, not Nero. What the fuck is his name? Eye patch, blonde, spy man. I mean, he gets some, but I want them all to have more. Cockburn needs far more time. Yeah, real. Thank you, Rachel. Best wine on secretary we could have hope for. Yeah. Real, but the T is silent.
I pray you have good reason for abandoning the front.
How could I remain there while the rumor that my son is possessed by a demon spreads like a sickness here at home? I will not be made to fight for the throne a second time. But what of you? Did you not tell me you would destroy Eorzean's champion with the ease that one might swat a fly?
A minor setback. He will not escape me again. Where is your grandsire? I would have words with him.
How should I know? Do you hide from each other's sight as well? I imagine he's doing what all Ascians do.
He must have found a way to take advantage of this turmoil.
Men are not pawns to be played with, Ascian. You underestimate us at your peril. This war will not be decided by you and yours. Man must choose his own fate, and I, for my part, will do all within my power to see Garlemald emerge victorious.
Me too, Catherine. They're doing more things like that, to be fair. The juicy booty, guys. It's not long for this world. Oh, I need
Pray
to get more
forgive the
memberships so I can give you
intrusion,
guys
Your
the...
Radiance, but the requested preparations are now complete.
I've got the juicy emote, I just gotta get more
We
memberships in order
stand
to be able
ready
to
to
put it
begin
up.
production of Black Rose upon your order.
Because they limit it to how many memberships you have, how many emotes you can have. This fucking face, though. So Black Rose is getting ready to be used. I wish my man would look at me like that. It always struck me as odd how the Ascians work alone so often. They actually do talk about that narratively wise. They do really explain why that's the case for both Elidibus, and why that happened to La Habrea, why that's true for Emmett Selk, and how the disposition of the Sundered Ascians causes them to often work alone or in pairs. It's both in the game and a little bit in some short stories. So I did edit that where they put the Fortunate Son in for the music. Talks a big game about his virtuous cause, but then he's just fucking giddy about using indiscriminate chemical weaponry. Yeah. Well, because you know it'll lead to a calamity. And speaking of not falling for war criminals, Elio. Cough, cough. What? Did I fall for a war criminal? Who did? What? Oh, because the juicy booty. I did have a funny question. Doing one of the dungeons, you get a status fully grown. Does that mean the warrior of light could be bigger? Doing one of the which status? It depends on what the mechanic is, because it could be referring to like plants. It could be referring to a bunch of different things. Join our YouTube channel. Hit the join button next to the subscribe button to become an Archon. The more members we have, the more emotes you get. You want juicy, don't you? Thanks, Speed. Barris is a bloody hypocrite. Barris is a lot of things. Okay, guys, shall we watch the Shadowbringers trailer? I need your energy. I have not slept in 48 hours. I need your energy. Fuel me. Did my man come? Oh, okay. I actually probably should skip this also because it that one sometimes gets flagged for copyright, because it doesn't as much anymore, but it used to like really easily get flagged. Oh, I knew you'd be all right, and to celebrate your return, I made you this, a brand new traveling outfit. Oh, I do hope it fits. But now is not the time to fuss over your measurements. I must go and speak with the researchers of St. Quinex's find. You go and rest while we track down the beacon. So here was that mysterious soldier whose attacks looked markedly familiar earlier. Catherine, I believe it was you who was asking about this. Who is the one character we know who has the resonant? Well, I guess there's two, but it's definitely not Fordola.
My enemy. My friend. Had I been but a step faster.
Bloody savages!
A pity your hunt leads you elsewhere. Not that I am surprised. May you find joy in it. Grow stronger, more savage, and savor every triumph.
I like Endwalker's trailer more than I like Shadowbringers, to be honest. Like, I love Shadowbringers, but Endwalker's fire.
I will reclaim that which is rightfully mine.
So remember, he has the Resonance. Resonance gives you the power of, like, basically the same power as an Ascian. It's like the Echo, which means that you can possess bodies, right? So I see, I'm assuming you can figure out where this is going, Cathro. This is the last time we see Elio as a samurai. Oh, that's a great shot of the Crystal Tower. Should remember that that's there. Oh, that's a pretty fucking shot. In the midst of a requiem for heroes, a voice rings out across time and space. In fields of tranquil light, sow you seeds of darkness. Cool. And there it's done. Stormblood's done. And Walker's Lamone. I never saw him take his own body back and wanted to see the scene. So that's some 5.x, Cathro. That's Shadowbringers is when we'll get to that ish. We'll talk about it then. But it doesn't happen in Stormblood. I want to say Tara's drip is pretty consistent story-wise, though her Stormblood outfit, I often question that look like Glam's Glam. You mean like the drip she gives us or the drip she's wearing? Because what's wrong with her? Her outfit is really appropriate in Stormblood. Okay. Logging out so that we can watch the Shadowbringers trailer. Yeah, the drip she gives us, honestly, the drip she gives us in Shadowbringers is more weird to me because it's like, I don't know, it just always looks really weird to me. Okay. Oh man, it's been so long since I've watched, since I've seen the old Shadowbringers title screen. So this is the Gimlet Dark, obviously. We just went through it. The ceruleum leaking out of the ships.
How many years have come and gone since that day? How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one that stood alone against the storm. For the one they called.
Dalamu. And us is the warrior. Right now we're wearing the 1.0 archer gear. All the different things we've been through. The archer, the Heavensward, Stormblood. So we're starting out as an archer in these shots. 1.0.
Weary wanderer. No fight left to fight. No life left to live. Behold, it comes, the end, your end.
Warrior for a realm reborn.
Fool, who are you? No one, nothing.
authors are the fame. Orchestrate our fall to grace.
Dragoon for Heaven's Word. Monk for Stormblood.
Until our friend returns, I will hold the line.
Oh, what a line! It's Thancred. And who's this mysterious girl?
This town certainly has changed. I'm not at all for the better.
Gunbreaker Thancred! Minfilia? Eternal Winds, the music of Final Fantasy III, and the Crystal Tower theme. How is the Crystal Tower here? It looks like a whole nother world. Reflections in the sky.
This tragedy, greater even than the seventh umbral calamity, must be undone.
Samurai for Stormblood. And still, it's not enough.
If history must be unwritten, let it be unwritten.
And now,
become what you must.
Dark Knight for Shadowbringers. Woo! Hype! Home, riding home, dying home, hold on to home. Oh. Dude, this was, I remember for years, every time you fucking turn on the game, greeted with like, oh! It's just like, ah! Oh, it's so fucking good. So good. Welcome to Shadowbringers, I think. Yeah. Yeah, well, no, I don't think we ever did levels Barger. When Shelley gives me questions I probably can't ask. Well, I mean, Decoy, you can ask them in the Discord, or if you want to try to, I mean, you could try to, if you don't know, if you haven't played 5.0 and you have questions, you can try to ask them. I mean, as long as you're only asking based off the trailer. Go for it. Memories to the sound of a choir blasting. Yeah. Oh, here. It was great. My eyes, my ears, a combo upon logging in. Yeah. If you enjoyed the stream and aren't a member of our Discord, why not come join us at https://discord.gg Eorzean archives. Thank you, B. Yes, we'll be wrapping it up in a little bit here. If anyone has any questions, you can always feel free to ask us over on the YouTube or on the Discord. On top of that, if you want to support us, you can support us over on Patreon, where you can get rewards like getting your name in the banner above, getting your name at the end of the credits of videos, or even appearing in videos, or getting a color name for the Discord, as well as other fun rewards. You can also support us by getting a membership over here, or also by giving us a super chat and having us say funny things or weird things, or all sorts of little other things that you'd like. Is Deadpool doing fine? Deadpool's definitely fine. I think he's just upstairs, probably hanging out or sleeping. Want to see scantily clad archivists? Well, we don't have those yet, but sign up for our Patreon anyways, and potentially we might get them. I love it when I open my game, forget my volume is set up to high, and then the whole house hears that I'm playing 14. I mean, how else are you gonna play it? Don't forget that if you want to do near glams, if you want to do some near farming tomorrow, we will be doing that. You can definitely join us. It'll be tomorrow evening. We can hope. Exactly. I'll wait a second to make sure, Decoy, you get a chance to ask your question if you have it. And then we will, I really love that they have it so that if once you watch the title, it'll change to the original title. Honey, actually, let's see if we do the opening movie. What does it change to? Does it change like ARR? This was the ARR. Very simple, but it's really solid, really good. Actually, which one's the weakest? I think this is really good. I think this is really good, especially for like a first thing. I think the Heavens Ward one's kind of weak. Like I like the snow, but it's like I don't know. I mean, it's good. It's not bad. It's just I think it's weaker. Okay, it's weaker than Stormblood though. No, I think Stormblood's stronger. And then Shadowbringers we just saw, and then Endwalker I like. Endwalker. Oskin Discord, probably just dialogue or something later in the middle of the expansion. Cool, sounds good, Decoy. I'll make sure to go check that right after stream. Well, in that case, if no one has final questions, we're going to call it here for today. Thanks so much for playing, everyone. Next week, we start Shadowbringers. Holy moly, we're making good time. It's gonna be a wild one. Have a lovely evening, everybody. And now I'm just vamping to make sure that I don't cancel the stream too early. Oh, actually, wait. Actually, I have to refresh that anyways. So this gives me a second to... Cool. Well, have a lovely night, everybody.